All right, I'd like to welcome everybody to the Special City Council Budget Workshop meeting on Wednesday, July 9th, 2025. If everyone would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. So tonight, different from our regular meetings, instead of a PowerPoint, I'm just going to go through the Excel spreadsheets that we've sent you guys. The plan of the evening is to start with Beach and Swim Center, then TCUD. Then we want to spend a little bit of time on the personnel capital leases, personnel part just on the TCUD, and then want to talk about the capital request. And then we'll hit stormwater, events, and then HTAX. So Dustin, if you want to join us up here, give everybody a chance to get set. As council is aware, and really more for just education of the public, which we'll do more of as we move closer to the public hearing and the first readings. This is a 9-month budget, anticipating us changing our fiscal year from the October 1 to September 30 year to July 1 to June 30 year. So on the spreadsheets, obviously, you can see the year-to-date numbers. And tonight, and again on the 23rd, during our final workshop, we'll update the year-to-date June 30, 2025 numbers as we officially close out that month. So you may see new numbers in that column at the July 23rd one, because usually on or about June, the 20th of the following month, we have finally gotten all the bills in from the preceding month and been able to pay those. So we will update those numbers accordingly. For Beach and Swim Center, you can see that we're forecasting revenues in that 9 months of $166,000. Still anticipating that we'd get to the 172 if this were a 12-month budget, but because we do get a number of passes or memberships sold in July and even a little bit in August. Your swim team would be at 100% during that time as they conclude their season before July 1st. Concession stand revenue really starts to ramp up in the later months of the summer, so that's why we're only showing a small portion there. And the majority of our guest passes do get sold in the first part of the year, so people front load those a little bit early. So that's your revenues anticipated at $172,250, again, for that 9-month budget of FY 25-26. As will be the case with all salaries and wages, FICA, retirement group insurance, and workers' comp, both tonight and on the 23rd. There are 20 pay periods from October 1 to June 30th. So we've taken the full rate and backed it down, the full rate considering all the 26 pay periods, and scaled that down to the full 20 pay periods. So that covers your salaries and wages in Beach and Swim Center. It's just a small percentage between Dustin and some of his staff that are directly involved with the pool contract and working around the pool. So it's a minimal amount. And Dustin, with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, my friend.
All right, I'm working with a different microphone, so is this one on? It looks like it is. All right, I'll make sure that I was looking for the button to push and there wasn't there. So, council, good evening. Hope everyone is doing well. Appreciate you listening to me for a few minutes. So I'm going to go through this, so the Beach and Swim Center budget. I'm going to touch on a couple of items when it comes to what's budgeted, where we're at year to date, and just kind of go through some of the ones that I think would be the biggest ones to point out. Obviously, if you have questions afterwards, please let me know. So obviously the first one that you'll notice is going to be your pool maintenance. That's going to be the pool management company, Trident Pool Group. One thing that looks a little glaring if you first see it is going to be the request is 45.6. So traditionally with the contract, our pool management contract can go up to 5% from the previous year. So how it's broken down to is it's about 60% gets paid before July 1 and 40% is afterwards. What you see there is the 57,016 year to date. We've paid early, so I don't want you guys to think that we're getting ready to go over. That's just an early payment. The pool company pays, or excuse me, they invoices early, and Dana does a good job of getting it out there. So we have that money already in the account to pay it. So it will be that 45.6 budgeted number. It won't be over, or we're not going over currently. So that was one of the ones that I wanted to make sure y'all saw and understood.
Dustin. Pull the mic closer to you, please. Thank you.
Hopefully that helps. The next one is just going to touch on your building and ground maintenance. This year, up to date is 6434. We did request 7,500, which is slightly less than 10,000. It's a little bit less than, or excuse me, it's right on line with what we would be with asking for that 10,000. Again, with your building and ground maintenance, it's going to be all of your preparation prior to the pool season. So making sure the pool deck is clean, replacing any shrubs or trimming trees inside and outside of the pool. So not only is it on your pool deck, but it's outside as well. So that's not going to change very much. Your equipment and maintenance repair down below, it's really similar. It's going to be basically what you'd be asking in a 12-month budget would be that 15,000, or excuse me, it would be that 20,000, but requesting 15. This past budget, we replaced several loungers and chairs and tables and things of that sort. As we continue, that's one of the biggest things we hear is we need more seating, we need to replace, we need to add. So that's, as we continue to do that, we want to look at adding more loungers, still replacing some that gets damaged throughout the pool season. And we do need to replace umbrellas. So that all corresponds with your equipment maintenance and repair. I mentioned it to Charlie this morning, and I'm going to knock on wood again. That 8,637 number you see right there, that's the purchases, or that's a majority of that is from purchasing the loungers. So we haven't had very many things break this year. So again, I'm going to knock on wood, and I know I'm probably jinxing myself.
Everything's breaking now.
So we want to make sure we have that in there to be able to. I know. I know.
The lightning storms are coming, and out goes the pump.
I told myself I shouldn't say it, but I have to say it. So we're all knocking on wood now. But that's included in that line item. And the last one that I want to point out too is your insurance. I think that question was asked prior to the meeting. That is simply because we have an insurance payment that comes out in January and one in July. So the second payment won't be captured in this budget since we'll start July 1. So anticipating a slight increase for insurance as everything goes up, but that's why you're seeing it basically split in half. Overall, I think the budget looks pretty straightforward in terms of where we're at. A lot of things don't change because it's paid prior to the pool opening. But I feel pretty confident in that, so happy to answer any questions.
For the memberships, it looks like it's gone down, or is that still not a whole number?
So the memberships this year are slightly down. Bob, you might be able to remember this.
As of this morning, it was 716 memberships. Last year, for the whole year, we had 755.
Okay.
So
Yep,
I
so-
gauge we're going to probably get another 15 or so this year. But it's 716 as of this morning.
Exactly.
The very cool early months really slowed down membership this year. It wasn't until about, maybe mid-June, they really started to pick up. And as Bob said, we'll get anywhere between 15 and 20 between now and August. And August is when we start prorating it.
What do you guys do to drive membership?
So a lot of it is going to be returning members, as well as we push it out on social media, Facebook, Newsflash. A lot of it, though, is word of mouth as well. So any way that we're able to push it through any of our avenues through the city, we do. And your Facebook messaging is to anyone within the general area. So we do push it out to people outside the city as well.
Is that what the 300 marketing
Yes.
or advertising
Yes.
budget is? Okay.
Is it the same price for residents?
It is. It is.
What do you consider membership capacity to be? Do you have a number on that?
So I can't give you a specific number. Our numbers, the most that we ever had, we did cap out at one time. I believe it was 3 or 4 years ago, and I don't know the exact number. But when we started seeing when we started seeing a consistent check-in, so we can check in, or we can see when people are checking in, we want to make sure that it's not consistently packed at all times. And when that happens, we look and see where we're at. Have we met our budget number? And is it time to start capping memberships at that point in the season?
Now, is membership measured by households or by individuals?
Both.
Okay.
You have a number of different.
There's several different packages
Yeah, you've got several different packages.
that vary in
on-
price.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's 6 different packages.
Is there a threshold that's set, saying this is our goal for membership, because then we won't have a shortage in our budget based on those numbers coming in?
Was it 755? Is that what is the number of memberships sold is the goal?
Well,
Yeah, what keeps
I
us even
think
on the budget?
750, that would be the goal.
755 is the goal.
So-
Yep.
It's different because, like, in order of, regular operations, you're a little bit over 700, but if capital things need to be replaced, then obviously that number needs to be higher to help support those things.
And I guess that's where my question's going is, if we need to be more strategic and focused on the membership drive so that we have the ability to respond to things that are needed without having to go into different funds. If that's possible to have a very targeted membership drive to reach a specific goal rather than just hoping that we can get there.
Oh, absolutely, and I think there would be very few people that say they never heard about the pool in terms of the different
Fair.
avenues. Just because I know Joey's made a concentrated effort with our news flashes. Facebook is a big push. Our Parks and Recreation Facebook. So we want to make sure that we want to make sure that residents are aware of the pool, and those are our first focus. And then as we get further on into the pool season, that's when we start doing our advertisements on Facebook that are more widespread. So that we're able to hit as many memberships as we can without making it unbearable for people that show up.
Yeah.
I will say to add, there were years where Bob and I joked about just blowing up the beach and swim center because
I've heard that.
it was not very self-sustaining, and COVID really hamstrung things, but it bounced back. Before COVID, we were happy to get around 600 memberships for perspective. So for us to be where we're at today, it's in a lot healthier spot than it used to be.
Well, I've just seen, some really good positive feedback about people's experience. And it seems like if we have a threshold that we know is going to fund, then, focusing on that would be a really good.
Family membership is the key.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we
Yeah.
need. We need the family membership.
The repairs all went well with the deck and what the other pumps?
Yeah, so everything that we had planned to do capital-wise, we completed outside of a full overhaul of the pool deck, but we were able to make significant improvements in the pool deck. There's a spot in the corner that we were able to raise and fix, cracking, but some of the pump is new. The baby pool feature is brand new. So, I think it looks pretty great, so. And
Yeah.
I didn't say I look great, I said the pool looked great.
So is there any anticipated items that are going to need to be replaced within the next couple of years that we need to have on our radar?
So I know after looking through the maintenance, I guess, overview at the end of last pool season, one of the items that potentially could come up soon is going to be replastering the large pool. We did that with the small pool. It was done in 2016, I believe. So the thing about the plastering is you can prepare for it and do it, but it might last 5 years, it might last 10 years, it might last 1 year. So that's something that we may need to prepare for, but it's one of those items also that if you see a pop in it, it has to be replaced immediately, or it will start, having issues with the structure of the pool. So that's something that we're keeping an eye on in terms of the integrity of it and making sure that we're not seeing any pops and things like that. And then the pool deck will be something that will have to be addressed at some point. We can continue patching it, but that's something that we can continue patching it, or if it's something that council wants to consider eventually overhauling it and redoing the pool deck. But with redoing, yeah, it's very expensive, and with redoing the pool deck, you always run into the potentials of what do we find underneath the pool deck. So, those are things that it's not immediate, but it's something that we would consider over the next couple of years if you want to look at big ticket items.
Could we do that in phases? I mean, you have expansion joints, it's concrete. You take out certain amounts of concrete, do it at one time.
I would say that's basically
Yeah.
what we've been doing.
Yeah.
Is
By the
doing
time
it
you
in
get
phases.
around, you
Where we
gotta
have
clean
bad
up.
areas, we're cutting those out and fixing those.
Yeah. So that,
I mean, doing bigger sections at a time to replace the whole thing.
So the biggest challenge that you have with the pool is going to be more so of the intricate, the drainage areas, the actual, the lip of the pool. Those are more specialized. So if you're wanting to replace cracks and things of that, being able to do those in pieces, I've been told it's not as easy just to replace your decking area. So if we're having to do like an overhaul of it, you want to do it all at one time because those sections are very specific. So from my understanding.
Is there a way to get like and I know it'll change depending on when you're going to do it and how many years from now, whether it's a year or 5 years from now, but just to get a general idea so that maybe we can include this in that really great plan that you set up for all of the parks, so that we have kind of a capital plan to know that this is what we might be hit with.
Absolutely, and something that our current pool company does is at the end of the year, they typically do like a maintenance review. What are things to look at? What are things to replace? And I mean, you have some items that are 25 cents, hey, replace a bracket here, to anything of, hey, you need to look at the pool deck eventually. So once we get that at the end of the pool year or the pool season, I'll be happy to start compiling what we need to look at. Obviously, pricing can change, but like I said, it can be anything from as small as a $100, $200 piece to a couple $100,000 piece if you're looking at replacing the entire pool deck. But to a long answer, yes, we could absolutely
you.
do that.
HVAC, does that count for this, because we're coming from outside of town?
You could, yeah, I mean, from a legal spend, yes. Yeah, I'm trying to track down, because as you probably saw in the email, after the list of things in the HTAX law, there's 2 paragraphs considering how much money your county is bringing in from ATAX. So, and I've got somebody tracking that down for me for York County, because it's just not readily available or easily findable on their website or in their budget book. If the county is bringing in more than $900,000, $900,000 a year on ATAX, we can cover 100% of the operation and maintenance of a tourist-related facility. If they're less than 900,000, which is where I think they are, you can do up to 50% of what your actual collections were the prior year in HTAX towards operation and maintenance. So that's why we haven't pushed it very hard, because it becomes, I mean, we're talking 400,000 this year in HTAX, 418. So you're talking about $200,000, but we've already got a good bit of HTAX tied up for events and bond payments on Catawba Park and things like that. So it's just not something we've pushed for or looked at with the Beach and Swim Center. But as our HTAX continues to grow, which it does seemingly every year, and then obviously as the HBK Holdings that's doing, we should have stuff from them in the coming weeks for the field next to TKK Tavern, where the cemetery is and everything. That's going to be a vertical mixed use with some, not only just retail, but also some food and beverage areas in there, plus what's forecasted in Main Street. We're going to start seeing in the coming years a substantial amount more HTAX than what we're currently getting. So that is something that we could consider if there were capital needs at the Beach and Swim Center, just like some of the capital needs around the clubhouse and Glennon Center and things like that. We can use HTAX for that. Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Anything else on Beach and Swim Center for Dustin?
Thank you, Council. I'll
Great.
see y'all in a little bit.
He'll see you all in a few minutes. Yes, he does. So as Antonio's making his way up, we'll go ahead and shift over to TCUD revenues. Bob, you wanna drive us through some of these?
Well, I mean, on basis, biggest items I worked on was of course, I worked on everything, but the water and sewer, I used a ratio of 5,000 customers for the year based on the last 9 months' usage. And plus, there was no water increase and a 10% sewer increase, and that's what I've used for the 9-month figure here, for water and sewer. So those are the two biggest revenue items. Interest income, based on what we have in the bank, times 4.5%.
Tap fees and impact fees, let's talk about those.
Well, the impact fees, we used 85 impact fees times 2211 plus 30,000 in commercial base revenue to get to that 202,935 figure. And the tap fees, 40
Relatively the same.
Yeah, relatively the same, yeah. But higher.
So in here and in general fund, as we talk about, especially building inspections, 85 new homes for the coming year is what the builders have forecasted to Nick. So from October 1 to June 30th, how many new homes do you think you'll permit? Yeah, so it's, this year we did 122, 120?
120, I think we're up to 122 right now.
Oh, we're up to 122, that's right, we did the budgets based on 144.
Exactly.
For the year.
We cut back with what the developers
Yep.
said.
So you've got, obviously, Wendell Woods that is getting closer and closer to build out. River Falls is right on their heels. So as those start to come off and reach build out, that's when you'll start seeing residential units, possibly in Main Street, possibly down in Lake Ridge. The Lake Ridge plats should be coming in, from what Nick told me, I think, end of July, again, to review those. Then we'll see a big upswing on those impact fees and things like that. I do want to just reiterate again, in case folks didn't hear it, we will have a 10% increase on our sewer usage, and that's a simple pass-through from what we're getting from City of Rock Hill. They're indicating that this may be the last one, but the biggest cost driver on that for them is on the chemicals and just manpower, labor expenses. So, but they haven't forecasted out beyond 2026 at this point, so I imagine that'll probably be forthcoming this year. But that pretty much covers your revenue. Antonio, let's see. Let's go ahead and drop down into salaries and wages. Again, as I explained during the Beach and Swim Center, this is fully staffed, what we have now. It does envision a 3% COLA and up to a 1% merit based on their annual staff's annual review. So we budgeted on 4% across the board, but could be less. Just depending on how the reviews go and things of that nature. So that's what we're showing there. And again, it's across the first 20 pay periods that are in that 9-month period. So that represents your salaries and wages. There are no new personnel or anything else shown in here in any of the budgets. We've got those obviously on the other tabs. So with that, Mr. Paturo, I'm going to turn it over to you, my friend.
Thank you. Again, pleasure to be here, Council. As you heard from Bob, I mean, the budget's doing great. The numbers are coming in. I don't have a lot to add from this particular budget versus what we had last year. There's a few increases, meaning there's 3 increases in 3 line items. So basically what you saw last year is the same thing that you're seeing this year. The increases are in meters and supplies. Basically with that is based off of inflation, just like anything else. Also, in addition to the inflation, a lot of our meters were put in back in 2015, so they're reaching their 10-year life, where they're not going to be as efficient. So we're looking to begin the process of phasing some of those out and bringing in some new. You have the software maintenance, where we had an increase there. That's again based off of inflation, as well as the more meters that we have in the ground, the more they charge us. And then lastly is chemicals. As you just heard, even from Rock Hill, they're battling the same thing as that inflation. Chemicals are not cheap, and they're not getting any cheaper. With that, really no other changes within that budget, but I'd welcome any questions.
Antonio, if you could talk through lift station maintenance and sewer line maintenance for us, please.
So as far as lift station maintenance and sewer line maintenance, you'll see that there wasn't a lot spent in those particular line items yet. However, there are some encumbered funds that that are eventually going to come out soon. What we also hit upon on that there is we're going through an RFQ process right now to see if we can get some of that work done. God bless you. Yeah, God bless you. In addition to that, we've had a lot of emergencies that have come up that you guys have heard of with, Comporium breaking some things out there. So we've been a little bit preoccupied with some other things and haven't gotten to some of the projects that we want to get to. However, that's why you see that remaining funds in those line items. But I assure you, we will get to that. We will do those improvements that we have been wanting to do.
What questions do y'all have of Antonio?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Going to the revenue part of it, the interest income, if I may not be looking at this correctly, but it says that there's a projected decrease on interest income from 112 budgeted 24-25 to 78,000 budgeted for the 25-26 12-month periods.
ARPA funds coming out.
Okay.
We have less money.
That's what I thought. I just wanted to confirm that.
Could be lower.
It could. We're not seeing anything yet that the rate is coming down. At least from what the local government investment pool is telling us, but we're definitely going to be spending out a lot of the ARPA funds that are sitting there.
And the year-to-date figure that you see right now, there's some interest income that hasn't been posted yet. We have to make some journal entries.
Oh, and I know that this is doesn't include all the way till the end of June,
Yeah,
but there was a good difference between the two 12-month projections. So I just wanted to confirm that it was ARPA.
We anticipate that ARPA will come out.
Okay. And then irrigation taps, sort of the same. You are going from 24,000 to 50,000. So it's good, it's increasing, but what's causing that increase?
Good. And Tony, we got 41,750 as year-to-date right now.
Yeah, that's all the additional homes coming in, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
A good chunk of those new homes are all coming in and buying the irrigation meters. Or during their contract process, they're getting irrigation systems added, and then they got to pay that tap fee either by the builder or by
Always
the
good for the extra. I just like to know where.
And even in traditional TKK, there's a lot that don't live by the lake that that are getting some irrigation taps as well.
So for your equipment, what are you guys needing this year?
We're asking for 2 trucks, is what we're asking for.
Lex.
Hang tight 1 second. Let's, if we can pause on the equipment stuff until we finish T-Cud, because we also need to talk T-Cud fees, which I think, Casey, you passed those out? Yeah, so at your seat, we put fee schedules for things that we're tackling tonight. Antonio, if you want to talk council through
Yeah.
some of these changes. The one change I did make this afternoon before we printed these, we hadn't captured the rate increase from Rock Hill. So you'll see that. It may be a different color than the other changes, but that's because I went in and made it. But Antonio, if you'll talk council through the other
Sure,
fees.
absolutely. So really, again, just the top section of that fee schedule that you're seeing. The same thing I talked about, that 10% increase, we kind of just rolled it into those fees. So most of them, except for the tap fee for the irrigation, is 10%. That tap fee for the irrigation is just a little bit higher on that one there. So that's what's reflected in those right there. There's one more on the second page where it should be in red. It says domestic backflow testing. There's a $150 fee there. The purpose of that one there is because we're regulated, obviously, from SCDES, so we have to stay in compliance. We send out the letters to have the backflow test done yearly, because they have to be done annually. However, currently to date is 364 that still have not tested. So basically that $150 fee, now we've tried a couple things to try to mitigate this problem. So we've done a disconnection process where we'd go out, cut the meter off, charge a reconnection fee. Works for some, doesn't work for all. So what we're looking to do here, so we continue to stay in compliance with DHEC or DES, is charge $150, have a contractor come in. If once a resident gets that secondary letter, instead of saying, hey, there's going to be a disconnection and a $75 fee associated with it, and you still have to get a contractor, we're just going to do the scheduling for them. We're going to schedule that contractor. We're going to send them out there. They're going to do the test. We're going to get what we need to put in our binder for DES. And quite honestly, residents can opt in to do that process. If they don't want to call the contractor, no problem. We'll take care of it for that particular fee. So that'll cover admin fees, scheduling, backflow tester, all of that.
Do you guys have the capacity in your department to go off and schedule all those contractors for all the individuals that don't do this?
We do. So, I mean, we
Okay.
have a running list of who's not doing, so our office staff will be the ones that are doing that scheduling. So instead of scheduling and creating a work order for our staff to go out there and roll out a truck and everything, they'll make a phone call to a contractor instead.
Yeah, we would work through a pre-approved contractor list. So kind of like the towing list that we have. DES has a list of certified backflow preventers. And we would just go through there as far as negotiating the price so that this is the price regardless of which contractor we use. And that way we would have a list of people at their disposal.
Would that be included, that 150 include the contractor, or is that just your fees? It would?
Include the
Okay.
contractor.
I mean, there's some contractors that do it as low as $20, $30
Okay.
for the backflow testing. And some are a good bit more. So,
Okay.
Hard to find, but yeah.
So how do we recover the fees for folks that don't pay us and don't get it done?
So they do pay. They
Okay.
pay the $75 fee. However, they don't get it done, which means we don't get the documentation to put into our SCDES folder. Times are changing. People are not working in the office as much. However, so SCDES eventually is going to go to an online submittal, which they already do with all their permitting and whatnot. So currently, we get a representative that comes into City Hall, and we meet with them, and we go through a binder. And we show them everything that we've done and how great our system looks and all that type of thing. Eventually, they're going to turn into, send me the information via, email, electronically, and with the use of AI is going to catch those discrepancies. So we're just trying to, be proactive in that sense so we don't go down that road.
and I think maybe to even further answer your question, how do we get the money? It will be added to their bill,
It will.
that $150. So-
Well, you have a service that comes out, performs something, you're setting the date for them, that means you're not asking permission, they're just coming out and doing it.
They're just coming out.
So
Yeah.
if folks don't agree to that, there might be a little pushback
Yeah.
from folks that don't pay the bill. So
Which
if we're rolling that into their payment, then, okay.
Which they're getting the same thing right now because they're getting that $75 reconnection fee regardless, whether they like it or not like it. That's what the purpose of the first letter and the secondary letter. We try to give as much leeway to give them a chance. They'll call and they'll say, hey, I'm new to the home, or, what do I do? So we give them that little bit of leeway just to, we're humans, so we understand things happen. So, however, one way or another, we need to make sure that we're in compliance, and that's all we're looking to do.
So another question in regards to revenue, the TAP fees, we anticipated 430,000, or we budgeted for 430,000 this year. We're anticipating a 12-month rollout to be roughly about 380,000. So then what we budgeted for a 9-month period was a reduction, 284,000. Why are we anticipating a reduction compared to what we budgeted for TAP fees?
Mainly because of the number of houses. We're not envisioning even a 12-month period as many new home starts, which would usually, what is the difference, Antonio, from the time they pull their permit to start construction till the time they request that first TAP fee? It's usually a few weeks, 6 weeks, give or take.
It's all different, some of them requested earlier because they want a hose bib spigot.
Right.
To have for a contractor for a washout or whatever it may be. So it
Yeah.
varies. Yeah,
So,
it
but
varies.
again, is we're getting to, Windhaven is done, 100%. Now you've got what's left of River Falls plus Wendell Woods, and we haven't gotten Lake Ridge or Lakewood or Main Street coming online yet. So we're anticipating a slowdown on the residential for a brief period of time before we see it jump back up to the probably 140, 150 a year.
In the normal frame, in a 9-month budget, we would normally would be 108 impact fees in homes too. Now we owe 85. That's why it's lower too.
Charlie, is this salary and wages, does that include the requested
No, sir. No, no, that's just what we have now. And the 3%, the 1% merit. Across.
We got our lease payments going down, did we pay some off?
Yes, sir. Yep. So if you look on the bond and leases tab under TCUD, you'll see that in March of this year, we paid off the capital lease on the generators. And then and we've also, in August, we'll pay off the booster pump lease.
And the capital from last year, what did we buy last year?
We bought a backhoe and a vehicle, truck.
Thank you.
Any other questions just on the TCUD operating budget before we switch into personnel and capital?
I just have a question more on the reporting and this going back to the ARPA funds. Why are those funds not pulled into this budget so that we can see what is being used?
Because it has its own account, and it's required to have its own accounting, so it's not part of our operation.
Okay.
But as those funds get expended, we can provide those reports to you and put together that spreadsheet as we continue to
Again,
expend those
And
funds.
at the end of the year, the auditors pull it in. On the financial
And I'm sure that it's being,
Yeah,
audited
yeah.
and all of that.
Yep.
I just know that it would be good to see what those numbers are and how they are really affecting what you're going to do, right?
Right.
That's really part of revenue,
Yeah.
part of, at least
Well,
used
it's
as
not
revenue, right?
Yeah.
But every month I send you that statement on the ARPA funds and what's been used, Alliance, consulting, et cetera.
No, I get that. It's
Yeah.
just that it's not part of the
No,
departmental.
not.
No.
So even if it was just like a side reporting so that we understand what these numbers look like with the ARPA numbers in front of us also.
So the ARPA, all right, maybe I'm not understanding what you're asking, because the ARPA funding won't affect these numbers at all,
No.
other than the interest income.
I know that they're not related,
Mm-hmm.
as in, it's not from the same budget, I get that.
Right.
But we don't have any way of seeing those numbers.
So something more than the monthly report that Bob's sending you guys.
I would like to see what those dollars are being used on directly. Like, just like here, we know that part of the budget is going to software maintenance, part of the budget is going to chemicals, part of the budget is going to different expenses.
Okay, Antonio, I think we can probably do that through, to a certain extent, through the numbers that are in the contract and whatnot. We can build a spreadsheet that would help explain.
Currently, nothing other than Alliance and the COG, honestly. Nothing else has been spent yet. We're currently waiting on RIA to kind of approve their portion of it, so nothing is really being spent at this time.
Okay, thank you.
But going forward, as we do spend it, we can build a spreadsheet budget to show bubblers, electrical panels,
Yeah.
things like that.
Absolutely.
And then as those funds get encumbered and get spent, and showing that as an expense like we do in here.
Yeah.
We can put that together.
It's just a big chunk of money,
Oh, it is.
right?
I like not to spend it.
Bob
I
wants
would like
keep it
not
in
to spend it
reserves.
also, but then if we are, I'd like to see where it's going.
Right. Well, we're gonna spend it one way or another. so.
Yeah.
Any,
I guess maybe a point of clarification for me is, I do hear conversations from time to time that we have around, we'll use ARPA funds for that, or that's an ARPA fund, ARPA funds are set aside for that. But on this budget, we see very specific categories where revenue comes from and where expenses go, but we don't get to see where ARPA funds are spent. You know what I mean?
well, that's what I just talked about. We can build that budget for you. Right now, we're not
Okay.
spending any of it, but we can build it. I mean, the revenues will be easy. It's just one line item.
Good, and
ARPA.
if you don't build it,
Right,
we're
but
not
then-
spending it, so that's good too.
But yeah, we'll work to put that together for you.
Thank you.
it's not a problem.
Kelly, can I say something for a second?
Sure.
That summary I give you every month shows who we spend the money, which you see every month. But,
Totals, and a decrease in the totals, and it shows.
I could expand on that. I can help. I can expand on that. Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. I got it.
Anything else on the operational side of TCUP?
One question I noticed, so the TCUD debt service is 909, 991 last year,
Oh.
but it doesn't match the bond release. Is that a different one?
That is the SRF fund and et cetera. And of course, what's missing out of that, I'm sorry, is 90,000, which was paid in July. This is based on 9 months. Most of our debt, everything is paid in the first 9 months of the year. Little debt is paid in the last
That
3
debt
months.
service line under TCUD, is accounting for on the bonds and leases.
Correct. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Anything else operationally? All right. Antonio, stay there. Want to talk about, while we're on TCUD, and then we can branch out with the other departments on the equipment stuff. But personnel for TCUD, the request is for 2 new maintenance guys. The total impact to the budget over that 9 months, and that's salaries and benefits for 9 months, would be $94,880 in total for the 2. So, Antonio, if you want to talk about your need for that request.
Yeah, sure thing. This number is actually a little bit higher, but I'm going to use a number because that's what I have in front of me right now. But in the last several years, we've brought on about 577 new dwellings, which each one of those dwellings comes a water tap and a sewer tap, as well as a meter and everything that goes with it. So basically around 1,150 new services with all. In addition to that, we've got about 4 miles plus of water main, and then another 4 miles plus of sewer main that we're responsible for as well. In addition to that, over 150 manholes have been installed since that we are now currently responsible for. 2 new lift stations, to a total of 38 lift stations that we are responsible for. I will tell you, with everything that's been going on, all the additional work that's been being caused out there, our guys are overextended. Our guys are exhausted to the point of burnout. A couple of guys have verbalized that as well. We don't want to do that. We need help. It's not because we just want more, it's because we need more. You know, utilities is very unique in the sense that we have SCDES and EPA standards that we have to abide by. That's what our request is for. We want to make sure that we continue to maintain the services that we have and continue to, you know, stay off of the news or stay off of people's mouths, you know. We want to continue to stay hidden. You know, we want people to continue to appreciate the services that we provide. You know, we want them to go home and we want them to spend time with their families. We want them to turn on that water and cook and shower and have comfort in their homes. So, you know, this is the purpose. You know, we want people to enjoy the lake without having, you know, sewage going in it. You know, and that's what we stand for. You know, we truly provide a high quality service, and we just want to continue to extend those services.
Was your personnel count now, have you grown recently at all? Or this will be the first 2 new hires?
They're actually finally full for the first time as far as what we've got budget for, knock on wood, in a couple of years. First time that they're 100% staffed, and the guys are doing a great job. But it's been, I think the last time we did a big staff increase is when we bought Utilities Inc. back in 2014. Now, we've added 1 or 2 here or there. But I don't think we've added any new personal headcount in probably the last 4 fiscal years. Yeah.
If I'm looking at your budget correctly, you are at 0.71% over what your budget was last year on the 12-month period. And that's leaving you between revenue and expenses $245,021. And what you're asking for in personnel and capital expense addition is $254,880, which would leave you at a negative balance of $9,859. Does that sound about right?
I'm trying to follow your math. Can you say this?
Yeah. So, yeah, I am. So at the and this is just Carmen math,
Okay.
so that's why I'm saying it out loud. So on the 12 month to 12 month, there's a 0.71 difference in just the total number. No, the 7,482,000 of expenses versus 7.5 million.
Okay.
And then if I'm looking at your 12-month revenue versus expenses, the difference was 245,000 and change. And what you're asking for in total, people and equipment, is 254,000 and change, which is about a difference of almost $10,000. I'm saying that because you have a good budget, and to add what you've asked for into that budget, only have a $10,000 overage. It's a good direction. I just wanted, long story short, that's what I was trying to get to.
Okay.
Okay.
I thought you were saying you've identified an issue that we've
No,
missed.
no,
And I
no,
was
I'm
like, wait a minute,
sorry.
what?
No,
Say the numbers again.
I wanted.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay, on the same page now.
yeah.
Okay.
To get all the things that you've asked for and to have a $10,000 overage in that 12-month, because it's hard to do it with 9 months and all that.
Understand.
So I'm just
Understand.
looking at it from 12 month to 12 month to, I think that's a more fair way of assessing it. It's a good budget.
Thank you.
So,
Well, just the fact that you all have managed to maintain a budget with all of the breakage that we've had is absolutely beyond me. So hats off, great job.
Thank you.
so Antonio has talked about his two personnel that he's requesting. If we can scroll down on that personnel capital request sheet, just to the next section, equipment and vehicles. For TCUD, he's got accounted for, and it's not in the operational budget at this time, but a replacement truck of an F-350 utility body, and then adding to the fleet a new truck, which would be an F-450 utility body. Antonio, if you want to talk about those for a brief second.
Sure will. So currently, we're trying to replace a model for the replacement. It's a 2014 model that we're trying to replace. It's a 1500 pickup truck. We're trying to replace it with an F-350 because we need the towing capacity at this point. So we have a jetter that we carry, we have a vacuum that we carry, we have another trailer as well that we carry, so we need that additional capacity. This will also have a utility body on it, which means more storage. Things can stay safe, things can stay locked up. The truck that we're looking to replace, like I said, it's a 2014. It's got roughly just over 135,000 miles. Doesn't sound bad yet. However, radiator's gone out, alternator's gone out. It's showing signs of transmission slippage, so that's about to happen as well. And front end a shimmy. So whether it's steering, whether it's tie rods, whatever it is, pretty expensive stuff that needs to go into a 2014. So, we're trying to eliminate that part as well as bring in something that really has a towing capacity to respond to the emergencies that we deal with.
It's a 1500. What you do
Right,
requires more than a 1500.
correct.
You're
You
correct.
got to haul excavators and skiddies and everything else that you can think of, gravel, and it's, you guys need a 350, 450. I would say buy two 550s and be done with it, is what I would say. I mean, literally, because then you've got the capacity.
It can't always go where a 350 can go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A 550, it's the same size as a 350, but your load capacity, your GVWR is going to be higher, your towing capacity is going to be higher, it's going to be a heavier truck, all of the components that go on it's going to be heavier. I just bought two 550s 2 months ago,
Wheelbase and axle width.
and, but not so much where you can't get it where it needs to be. We're not going to like a 700 platform or anything like that. So,
So price tag's a little bit more as
Yeah,
well.
it is.
So we
It
want to
is.
stay within the numbers that we are.
I
so-
like your
Yeah.
$10,000.
Yeah,
They're 100 plus.
yeah, so.
absolutely.
We're happy with the 350, the next one down for that new vehicle is a 450, so we're really at the threshold of where we need to be.
That's a huge upgrade from the F-150.
Yeah,
It is.
the Chevy,
Yes.
1500,
You're going to be a lot more
absolutely.
versatile with what
Yeah.
you're asking for.
So now you doing crew cabs?
We are.
Okay.
Yeah, so that gives us, more space, obviously, more guys can jump in one particular vehicle, as well as them having a little bit additional storage on the back side of it.
So, Antonio, so looking at in the 9 month, your estimate, your 351 are good, and then the overall cost is 254, right, so at least 100 good in 9 months.
So that, we're going to get to that. So one of the biggest reasons why I want to talk, so let's just go ahead and get into it, and then we can have the department heads that are here, and I can touch on the fire piece, since Chief Hasty is on vacation. He sent me the notes on that. But ultimately, our recommendation is we've got to get back to doing the short-term capital leases for our vehicles in order to meet the financial successes that y'all are looking for in building up our reserves, right? You're talking about a low interest rate, much lower than what the money is earning. It allows us to put money into those reserves where it can continue earning, based on what our financial advisors have said, we would, at around $1 million, which you can see if we looked at all the total on the equipment is $897,900. We'd be looking at about 3.5 to 3.75 on the interest rate, and that's their guess without putting it out, right? And we're getting 4.5% on the interest. I don't know any other way to say this, but I'm begging. It's not considered debt by the auditors. It does not go against our 8% debt limit. All of this, $897,900 split up between those three funds, would have zero impact on the 25-26 fiscal year, because the first payment is 1 year in arrears, right?
What's the benefit to the city?
Cash.
Oh, cash.
Yeah.
Basically, hey, if we do.
It's cash positive on the interest rate.
Oh, big time.
Big time.
Big time. We could take the $897,000 out of the bank and that's it, done, okay? We lose, but we need that cash in the bank. Look what happened this year and with Hurricane Helene. We had a.
How much we got in there now, Brian?
Pardon me?
How much we got in there now in reserve?
In the bank,
7 mil?
6.9 million.
What's our legal limit? Yeah.
We need 25%.
25%.
The-
Oh, yeah, you
Oh, yeah,
can't.
yeah, yeah.
You
Oh, yeah,
can't.
you want to.
If you go below 25, then there has to be a plan in which to get back at 25 within, don't quote me on this, it's in the code, but I'm wanting to say it's within 24 months or 36 months or something like that, if we have to go below the 25%.
But, so how much was it? How much was it?
6.9 is where we're at right now.
6.9, and
So-
of course, we have 4 million would be the line.
Mm-hmm.
And this year, we spent 2 million with the problem with the Hurricane Helene right up front. We get the cash back, but we had to spend 2 million because of the storm. If we put the 897,000 in the bank, we gain 40,000 plus a year, which is $160,000 in interest income. The capital lease and interest would cost us $75,000. We gained $85,000. If I was gonna do it, and personally, that's what I would do.
By lease.
Oh, yeah,
Mhm.
definitely.
Yeah.
I would.
And with the exception of the ladder truck,
You're the
which will
car
be
guy.
here this fall, all of our capital leases are only 4 years. And it is, y'all will hear time and time again as the staff comes up and talks about their vehicles. We're keeping those things 7, 10. You just talked about a 2014, truck that's already cost us,
Have we retired the 2003 S10 yet?
oh, it
Did it
got,
die? Okay.
we had, it's still on site, but it is not usable. It was replaced by
To
truck
answer your
noise.
question, to spend 3.5% to get 4.5%
Mm-hmm.
and keep our cash, if we ever get in a situation where we need to pay those leases off, we can.
Yes.
Because
You
we
can.
still
You
have the
absolutely
cash,
can.
right?
No problem.
But the cash is working for us,
This
cash
is-
positive.
1%.
Right, at
It's
1%,
a-
right.
Based on what the interest rates are today, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, so I've always been against accumulating debt, but it's not really debt,
No,
like you said.
that's
It's not
correct.
really, because we still have the cash to pay it off if we need
Correct.
to, and the cash is still earning us money.
I think you said it beautifully. The money's working for us.
Yeah.
By keeping it in there.
Smart
Yeah.
bet.
Bob, tear up.
Well,
But,
I hate to say you go in debt, but that's sensible.
Going
It
to
is.
stay
It's-
net
it's
positive.
sensible
It's
use of our money.
absolutely-
I
It's
think
good stuff
you
that
would
way.
agree with that.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't work in the
I
banking
would do it in a
industry.
heartbeat.
Yeah.
It makes a lot more sense that way.
And the payments in arrears.
And you keep the cash on hand in case you need it
Yeah.
for emergencies.
And
Right.
we can pay,
Absolutely
and capital
fabulous.
lease off, we can do whatever we want if we have the extra cash that's come into the budget. Then we can-
and generally speaking, there's no penalties on those capital leases for paying them off early. With bond debt, it gets a little bit different. There's usually like a 1% penalty or something like, or if it's not an already identified amount. But in the capital leases, there's no penalties on paying those off early. So
So tell
even
me
if
on
we
the 350 and the 450, what would the term be on the lease? Would it be a 4-year term?
Yes,
that
yes.
what the depreciation looks
We-
like?
We would
Depreciation
we would
schedule?
envision this as a 4-year capital lease.
Okay.
Yeah, on the-
Now, when we talk about lease, being a
It's
car
not, that's
guy-
just what they call it. We're
Okay,
buying
and a car guy.
it. You're making a car payment.
We lose the vehicle. We
Yes.
own it, right?
Which still,
Yes.
we
Okay.
own it after
So it's
4
Yeah,
really-
in the government world, they
It's a
call it
finance
a
term.
capital lease for some
Right.
reason. I honestly
And
don't
no
know
reason
why.
Okay.
But it's car loan, basically.
Okay, good. All
Yeah.
right. So we
It's
still own the
short-term.
asset. once it's
Correct,
paid off.
yes.
All right,
In a
That is
perfect world,
And there's no
Antonio,
balloon payment at the end.
got it.
what kind of turnover would you see as far as replenishing the vehicles, like on 4, 5-year schedule?
This one was 11.
Yeah, but I'm saying in a
Our,
perfect world.
So I would say on our, it's
Like
going to be
ideally?
different based on vehicle and use.
Right.
So our patrol units, those are probably going to cycle out. Chief, would you say fair statements maybe 5, 6 years? Yeah, 6, 7 years on those. Yeah, on our maintenance trucks, barring anything crazy, we're getting 8, 9, 10 years
Right.
on those. So
That's pretty
well,
strong.
well beyond, what the payments are.
Yeah. We're getting 2.5 times the payment schedule on them.
Anything else for Antonio before I get some of the other department heads up here to talk about their
The
capital?
dump trucks.
Those aren't Antonio, so we're getting there. So we got them color coded. The
Sorry.
yellow is T-Cud, the pink is stormwater, and the white would be general fund.
I think you answered it, I just don't remember. The T-code employees, that 94,000, is that,
That's for 9 months.
9 months.
That's for the 20 pay periods. Yep,
So it's
And that makes the
roughly
T-cut
10
bottom
Gs
line
a
look
month.
better. If we do with the capital.
yeah, I
list.
just
cheap.
know how it.
yep.
That's
Antonio,
Very
thank
well
you,
spent.
and thank you for, you know.
Yeah, we
your story
couldn't
for
do
the
the
need for
the
what you need.
salaries is, okay, 3/4 of the year. We had to do it by number of pay periods. So, and there's 20 in that
and
first
that's
9
with
months.
benefit load and everything.
That's correct. Yeah, that would be that
Sweet.
94,880 would be your total impact on that budget.
Yeah, that's well done.
Let's see, stormwater, I'll tell you what, on the capital lease, let's go through the general fund ones, and then I'll get Tim up for the stormwater, and then we'll roll right into the stormwater budget, if that works. So PD, Chief Crosby,
Can everyone make sure they're talking into their microphones and having people be
Leave it on.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You meant Antonio when you said that, of course.
Chief.
all right, Chief, let's talk about the 3 replacements that you're looking to do.
So, good evening, everyone.
I think Chief's mic might be on.
Good evening.
Good evening. Test, test.
Can you hear that in the audience?
You can hear it.
You're good.
We're good.
You're good?
Thought y'all were just trying to get me to sing tonight. So we're requesting for 2 patrol vehicles and 1 admin vehicle. I will go through each vehicle for you, and each of these vehicles have been inspected by our city shop with a recommendation, and those documents have been provided to you. The first one is vehicle number 1. It's a 2016 Ford Explorer. Has 122,000 miles. We're having transmission issues, weather stripping is bad, windshield molding is bad, water leak, center damage console, and damage to the driver's seat and the rear wheel bearings are also bad. Past expenses has been about $5,000 for tires, brakes, fan motor, AC control head. The recommendation per the city shop is the estimated cost for this vehicle is about $5,200. The vehicle is estimated at approximately $7,200, and the city shop is recommending that we sell this vehicle. And all of these vehicles will go to auction as well, if approved for us to get new ones. The next one is car 22. It's a 2017 Ford Explorer with 200 miles, 112,200
There we go.
miles.
There we go. Third time's the charm.
Yes, it's the glasses. That's what I'm blaming my glasses. Told you I was not good at math. Oil leak, transmission slippage, windshield molding is bad, weather stripping, decals are coming off the side. The rear of the vehicle has scratches in numerous places. The driver's seat is torn and the spotlight needs to be repaired. Past expenses include timing change, motors, mount, brakes, and tires. Recommendation by the city shop per Hayden is to replace this vehicle. Estimated cost of repairs is $6,500. Vehicle value is approximately $8,400. And that takes care of unit number 22. Unit number 23 is another 2017 Ford Explorer, 125,000 miles. Transmission slippage, weather stripping, again, rear windshield, the windshield molding, torn driver's seat, damage to the passenger floorboard mats and passenger floorboard. The decals are peeling off and fading. We've had to replace the water pump, motor mounts, brakes, tires, cooling fan, and also had computer issues in that vehicle. Per Hayden, he's recommending this vehicle also be replaced. $6,500 is the estimated repair cost. Vehicle value is $7,800.
Chief, the replacements, what do you want to replace them with?
The cheapest thing we can find. So either it's going to be, we're looking at the Ford Explorers right now. They're varying in prices because we're seeing some late models that we can potentially get depending on when this gets approved. If it rolls over into the new year model, then that number, of course, goes up. So we're trying to do the Ford Explorers, but if we can find something of a different year model of a little bit cheaper, that is still a new vehicle, we'll get that.
Do you have all SUVs now?
Yes, sir.
Is there a reason we don't have any sedans?
It's harder to get the cage in the sedans and fit if someone going to jail, to fit them inside the back seat, especially if they're a bigger person. You almost have to lay them down in the back seats. Unfortunately, due to the position of the handcuffs, fixation, and things such as that, that's where the back seats of the
But with the admin vehicles, I
SUVs.
guess, what I'm referring to.
Oh, the admin vehicles, we do the basic, they're not the police models. If in an admin vehicle, we get a basic Ford Explorer, so it doesn't have the police package built into it. So they typically are a lower cost, again, depending on what year we can get.
Would they be, I guess I'm just looking at the admin, if you're not transporting prisoners usually, arresting people, what would the cost difference be if we went with sedans for admin versus, I'm not saying we should, I'm just trying.
20 grand.
Certainly. So it depends on what car you get. I know previously the city had tried to do Dodge Chargers. They had so much problems with those that the city shop asked us to please never buy a Dodge Charger again. So we try to stay
Fan
with
blades going through the radiators.
we try
Oh,
to
yeah.
stay within that
Disintegrating.
package line. We do have one Chevy Traverse. It's held up kind of okay, but we try to stay within that Ford package with or police model vehicles, but in a civilian role.
Are we able to swap the gear out on those?
No, sir. When they change the vehicle models, then they will change, and the bolt package is different for the gears and things such as that. Now, we do try to use, if the radio is still good, we try to put the old radio back in the car. Anything that we can use, we do use and put them back in the cars.
I guess, back to my question, though, I'm not clear on the answer. Does it make sense financially for admin vehicles? I mean, if it's a significant difference between a SUV and a sedan, and we don't need an SUV, does it make sense to go with a sedan?
Well, and again, my argument's going to be with that is I'm trying to stay within police line vehicles because our admin cars still stop over the citizens. And the last thing that I want, even though it has a blue light in it and you're stopped by a Nissan Altima, you got to do a lot of education, as you know, from being an undercover part of your career, or being a plainclothes part of your career. And so I think we owe it to our citizens to try to stay with something that's police model. People are used to being police cars because they are unmarked and they're in line with what police are using.
So the admins are not marked?
No, sir.
Okay, that's what I
They
was.
are
Yeah, they're not marked.
No, sir.
So, question for you, and I may have missed this
I mean, we could,
in your
but
discussion, but
generally
the
we don't.
three
It's just an
Explorers
added
that you
expense.
talked about,
Yes, sir.
are they
To-
all
to
police
decal
cruisers,
them.
or they
So
a
you
mix
will
of
have
admin and police?
two that will be police cruisers. They are the police package. One will be an administrative package, and that's when we buy the civilian models for that package.
Okay, and
What's,
what are we budgeting for each of those? Are the police ones, what are they, 70, 80 grand,
No, sir, we're doing 50 grand.
50 grand?
Yes,
Is
sir.
that equipped?
So 50 grand for the vehicle. We save a little bit of money for the civilian package. You'd be very surprised. It's not much at all. 19,000 is upfit costs for a patrol vehicle. That's lights, sirens, cages, everything, radios. And then for the admin vehicle is $8,700.
So you're about 70 all in for the police vehicle? Close to it, a little under it.
Yes, sir.
About 68,000 per.
Yes, sir. And we're working with a company called Campbell Brown out of Charlotte that does that for us. And so we've worked with them to get a package that's the lowest cost possible. based
Chief,
off
where's
of
the
this
new
process.
location? They moved off of Graham Street.
It's up off of 85, I believe they told me.
They've been at Graham Street forever, and they moved. Now it's like a chicken place.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go buy strobe lights for the trucks, and,
I will find that exact address for you from Captain Holland and let you know.
okay.
It's almost like a second address.
Because they've still got their same address on there, and they're not there.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the rest of the budget, but when you talk about 5,000 in repairs, 7,000 in value, 6,000 in repairs, 8,000 in value, anybody that's ever had an insurance claim knows that when you get to about 60% of the value of the vehicle in repairs, it's totaled.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
So I think you make a very good argument for replacement vehicles
Yes,
here.
and the rest of our budget is basically operational budget we'll get into next time. You will see a slight increase in vehicle maintenance costs, and all the reason is that because everything's going up in prices. Brakes are costing more, tires are costing more, things like
Yep.
that are costing more money than what they have in the past. So they're going up in prices.
So Chief, I got a quick question. I'm trying to make the numbers work out. There's three replacement vehicles, each cost about 100 or 50,000 plus the upfit, which is roughly about 20,000.
Yep, 19.
So that's 140,000. But then there's a difference of about 50,000 or 56,000
So
there.
we're asking for 3 vehicles at $50,000, which would be $150,000. And then for the 3 upfits, 2 of the patrol vehicles at $19,000.
Okay, so 20.
And then 1 admin at $8,700, for a total for upfitting would be $46,700.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense. Perfect. Gotcha. Was not following.
And the radios, those are replacements for ones that have gone out, or?
So we have reduced the in-car radios. So this is going to be another thing you're going to see on the 23rd. Motorola has increased the prices of radios to almost $11,000. So the radio that you see on our hip, it's $11,000. The radio that goes inside of the car is $11,000. So because the radio coverage within our jurisdiction and in York County has been so good, we've reduced purchasing the radios in the car. We have the radios just strictly on our hip to try to save some money. The other way that we've tried to save some money is because our supervisors, they don't do as much transporting. We do not put cages within their cars. They transport like Highway Patrol does. That saves us a little bit more money, but because the patrol officers are typically going to Moss Justice and back with transport, then I prefer them to have a cage to transport a prisoner. So we're trying to actively take steps to be a good steward of the city's money and save where we can.
Now, one thing I do want to ask council, because it's been like this for years. Fire replacement radios have just been included in the operational budget for whatever reason, and honestly, I couldn't find when it started. PDs has always been shown as a capital, probably because of the expense of them being, now getting up to $11,000 a radio.
Right.
After this fiscal year, I would like to just include any replacement radios, and we can call it out as council needs to know, but can we just start putting those into the operational budget as we go and have to do those instead of setting them aside? Because it's what we're doing with fire, and we're having to replace, I think, and Chief Hasty can speak to this better on the 23rd, but I think I recall in his, it's 1 or 2 replacement radios for fire, again, because Motorola won't service.
Support them, yeah.
So they're out of date. They'll still work, but once they stop, they will not service them.
Right.
Yeah, so now it's just a brick. So
Sounds
would
like a
like
good business to get
to,
into.
starting with the
Sure.
26, 27 budget,
We have it as a line item, so at least. know
Yeah,
what it's
how would
for.
we know?
yeah, we can add a line
That
item.
way-
Sure, sure.
It gotta be a capital improvement, but we'll see.
Right, yeah.
When you're ready.
Right.
Absolutely. We can start, we can do
Radios
that.
and
Yep,
costs.
absolutely.
Makes sense.
And it was just a question. I mean, is 6 one, half dozen the other? But, I mean, we can't have patrol officers patrolling without radios. I mean, we have to have them, but it's weird. I'm not sure why PDs
that
was
an-
always set aside as capital and fires wasn't.
Is that an item that comes up basically every year, the
Yes, ma'am.
radios?
You'll probably
Yeah.
expect 3 a year.
Okay,
And the reason being is Motorola has changed their software. So once this older radio dies, it's not serviceable anymore, so it
Right.
can't be fixed, it can't go back on the system. So what we have to eventually be able to replace if it goes down.
yeah, I just wanted, if we're gonna
Yeah,
put it on a
it-
regular budget, then I
Yes,
just
ma'am.
wanna
Yeah.
kinda know that that's what I should expect to
Yes,
see.
Our replacement plan for cars and is like 3 to 4 per year, and then radios is about 3 per year.
Yeah, it's been pretty standard, 3 or 4 cars.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yes,
Last
sir.
question on the vehicles, and we've probably discussed this before, but I don't recall the answer. Do we have an auction process or a process for disposing of those vehicles,
Yes, sir.
getting them sold? We
Yes,
do?
sir. They go to auction, and then once they're sold at auction, then the money gets turned back over to general funds.
Okay. And is it fair to assume that the values that these are estimated at, that we'll probably retain that at auction?
So
Somewhere near that?
you're looking at.
Probably less.
This year, we got about, I think it was, Mr. Bob, was it about $1,500, I think it was, $1,700 a car, I believe it was, that we got this year.
1,500?
Yes,
A
sir.
car.
Yes, sir.
Holy cow. Well, yeah, it's wholesale money, it's not
Yeah.
retail money. yeah.
We didn't get a lot this year.
No, we did not get a lot.
cars.
Okay.
I think the most we've ever gotten for a vehicle in years past is around $5,000, $6,000. And that was the most.
We
Yeah.
received $2,610.
Wow.
But we also don't have to pay the auctioneer fees either, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, ma'am, it was on the tab.
They don't have it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We'll get it
I
to
have
them.
that if you need it.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
yes.
Chief, I just had a general question about the radio. So you're not putting fixed radios in the car, they're just using the handheld?
That is correct.
Do
Yes,
they
sir.
dock them, or it just stays?
So they have the handheld radio that goes on their side. They have a charging docket at home, but then we've also put a charging docket inside of the car.
Okay.
In
Good.
case
They can
that
stick it.
battery goes dead, they can just dock it inside the car.
Yeah, good.
But it's not a docking station that hooks up to different antennas?
It's not a booster, no,
Yeah.
sir, it's just a charger.
Got it. Cool.
Any other questions for Chief?
No, thank you.
All right, thank you,
Thank
Chief.
you, thank you.
Tim, well, actually, stay there. Dustin, come on up. That way Tim doesn't have to get up and get back down and then get back up again, so. Come on, Dustin.
Yeah, that's right. Just stay here, Dustin.
And I'll pull up the fire one.
I have to get up and back. I guess I'm younger, right, Tim?
He missed leg day.
Did it today, actually. Joey can
goodness.
attest.
All right, Dustin, talk to us about the mowers and the 450.
All right, welcome back. So we'll go ahead and start with the mowers. Just want to kind of give you a quick breakdown. Let me pull this out real fast. So what we're looking at is two Z-turn mowers or zero-turn mowers. For those of you that are not familiar with that, it's the handheld ones, it's not the driving ones. What we wanted to do as we went through this, I asked staff to put together a master mowing list to justify what we do with these mowers. And as you can see, this list is pretty long. So it's almost 3/4 of a page that our staff is specifically responsible for when it comes to mowing, outside of what our landscaping company actually mows as well. So as you can probably put that together, is we have a lot of areas in the city that gets mowed. So with that master mow list, you're looking at about between 35 and 40 acres of land that we mow as a staff. So as we do our strategic data, we're probably looking at anywhere from about 2 to 3 staff members mowing on average about 8 hours a week during our growing season. So you can imagine that's a lot of time that we have people on mowers. So I just want to set the stage for this request so that you understand, yeah.
You said 8 hours?
On average, 8 hours, about 3 staff members each
So
week.
24 total hours?
Give or take, yeah.
Got it, okay.
So, but you'll notice that some of the ones like Rundy, Park, Turner, Lookout, things of those ones, it's multiple times a week. So it's two times, sometimes 3. So it's a lot of mowing. So you'll see we're asking for 2. One is a replacement and one is a new one. The replacement is to replace one that is 10 years old and getting up to about 2,000 hours of usage. Yeah, as you probably know with Parks and Recreation, we like to keep things as long as we possibly can, given the S10 and some of our other pieces of equipment. So it has been used and used very well. So we're getting to the point where anytime something breaks, because it's a 10-year-old model, those parts are a little bit harder to come by and they're more expensive. So while we have a very good staff, whether it's our mechanics or some of the guys on our staff that are able to kind of piecemeal it together and put Band-Aids on it, we're getting at a point where we're getting ready to lose that mower. So one of them would be a replacement. The second one would be a brand-new mower. As I mentioned in my statistics before, it is to give us another person to get on a mower when we're in these busy peak periods. The mowers are a little bit different. One is a larger one. They're both 61-inch decks. One is a sit-down, so it's for your larger areas, your big parks. So you're able to cover more area a little bit faster, more horsepower. That one runs approximately $15,843. That would be for our replacement. And the second would be a stand-up mower for a little bit smaller areas. Again, still 61-inch deck. And I have the specs in here for any of y'all that like that. And that runs about $12,225. You'll also notice that these two were requested in the capital improvement plan that y'all were able to see. To kind of wrap all that together, this is solely to continue to beautify our city. So our staff does a fantastic job. They're very hardworking in what they do, and this is just giving them the tools to continue doing that and making sure that we don't have grass that's will cover my shoulders, because that doesn't take very much. But
No, it
so-
doesn't.
What areas, you mentioned a landscaping company. What areas are landscaping, what areas are city?
So I don't
managed?
have that list down, but the primary one that you'll see is going to be down TGK Drive, some areas down.
That's
Hubert-
that's ours, or
No,
that's the
that would be
landscaping?
the landscaping
Okay.
company. That's contracted down Hubert Graham, right around Stonecrest areas, and a couple of different smaller spots. The biggest areas that we're responsible for are going to be the parks, like your Rundy, Turner, Lookout, TGK Elementary School.
We don't do Catawba though, do we?
We do small, yeah, we do small sections of Catawba.
We've got a different contractor other than Brightview that does the river access and then some parts of Catawba Park.
But we're responsible for the event lawn and all the ball, like the baseball outfields. So that's a separate mower that's a lot larger. So I wasn't including those areas because these ones won't be used for that. That will be specifically for our master mower.
How many do you have now, Dustin? How many?
Right now, we were at 4, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah,
So let's put you at 5.
yeah.
Got it.
What would be what would it take to edge as well as mow? Like
What do you mean?
the edging of the, when you go down TKK Drive, you mow it, but there's always, the
Grass
Talking about
growing
the
in the
grass
street,
growing into the street.
kind of working its way into the
Yeah.
Talking
street,
about the median or on the curb line?
the median.
Probably in the median.
Median,
Yeah.
Best thing that would help it would be curb and gutter, to be quite
That's
honest.
what
But
we have
that's
to
a
do.
very expensive
Right.
undertaking.
Yeah.
You can't really edge
We've
against
we've
asphalt.
edged it from time to time. It took us, Chad, do you recall off the top of your head? I want to say it's like 2 months
I knew that
to
the
try to
question was
just
like
edge it one
out
time.
there. I was just curious.
going through it.
It is noticeable, though, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough to edge against
I have to-
asphalt.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is.
I have a question. Other than saving $3,000, what's the motivation between one riding and one walk behind?
So the riding one is to do your larger areas. So I can show you this one right here. It's has a little bit larger engine right there with your.
But the deck's the same size.
The deck is the same, but that will give you more speed and it will get you more area in terms of your sitting versus your.
All right, so you're going to be surprised that I'm asking you this, but for $3,000, would there be a value in getting 2 riding ones?
Do you need a small one? I mean, what Scott's saying, what's the benefit?
Do
of a
you? I
small
mean,
one?
Getting tight.
well, you got a zero turn, the thing's going to turn on a dime anyway, but,
Yeah, but it's the,
So I can tell you my staff would be more than happy to have both of those ones.
well, the reason that I'm asking it is not because I want to spend $3,000 more dollars, but I'm thinking about risk of injury for somebody walking behind one.
Yeah.
And is $3,000 worth that to us?
And we could absolutely use the sitting down one, and in terms of your smaller areas, we do have other stand-up mowers that we could use for those too, so.
I mean, you can cut down on fatigue, somebody twists an ankle,
Yeah, I mean, if it would benefit you to have 2 seated ones.
And
yeah.
And I will say,
Yeah.
we specifically put in just to be cognizant of all the capital asks, but, I mean, we would be more than happy to do 2 sit-down
And
ones.
it's Just 3,000 more? So that put us at 33.
So one was a total of, 12,
Yeah, they're 12 and 15,
25,
right?
and about 15.8, so yeah, slightly more.
have you
About
looked
3,000.
into an autonomous mower?
Those things are cool.
Those are
They're
really
using them
cool.
all over the interstates and all over DOT
only
projects
80
now.
grand.
Yeah, those are cool, but I think I would have a little bit harder ass to get with it.
What I'm saying is like the grapple truck, with the grapple truck. If you get a piece of equipment like that, our guys go out, they drop it off, it mows the thing, and our guys are able to go do more stuff. I know we got a little more of initial cost up front, but if we're able to be more efficient through mechanization, let's do that. We did that in the early 1900s with the Industrial Revolution. Let's see about doing that here. But they're using those autonomous mowers on medians and the interstates and and the shoulders and everything. And they just go out and they set them up and you run it one pass, one time, and the computer learns it and it knows what to do and it just does it and you come pick it up. And you take it to another spot and you do the same thing. I mean, I don't know, but it'd be worth looking into if it,
And I'll
if it
be
makes
honest,
it-
weren't considering those at all
Yeah.
in terms of when we were exploring equipment, but I'd be happy to look into it and see what it would cost. But that wasn't something we were considering at this time.
Yeah, I'm just throwing an idea out there, and, you
Yeah.
know, if it,
It's worth looking at.
Yeah.
if it
Yeah.
increases our efficiency.
$500,000, we're good.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
I'll file it away.
Yeah.
An autonomous zero turn is 72 grand. Yeah. An autonomous zero turn is 72 grand, 16-inch deck.
And we're looking at 30,
Oh, yeah, no.
we're
It'd be
looking at 30.
We're looking at
31.6 if you
15.
did two riding zero turns
Yeah, I know, right?
versus
So
one,
is
you
it
said
two
was
versus
72?
one? Do you
72,
need one
yeah.
autonomous, or do you need two regular?
So I can't answer that question. To be honest with you, like I said, we didn't really look into the autonomous one. Now, don't get me wrong, I think my staff would be thrilled that they'd be
someone
able
steals
to
it from
use it.
Yeah, right.
You're not picking that bad boy up and stealing it, I'm sorry. It's,
Or I
it weighs
could
too
go,
much.
little fella,
Some
get on-
kids
get
are
on the
riding
truck.
Do my research and see how
Sure.
much it would
Throwing it out
cost.
there.
But I think it's absolutely something to consider as we continue to replace the rest of our ones. It's really similar to, if you've seen the autonomous turf tanks that
Yeah.
paint the fields. You know, we looked at those ones. I mean, those are expensive, in terms of that. but
I love the
those are
idea,
great.
I will say, for the expense and the research that it would take for you to really find something that's going to last 10 years like your equipment does.
Yeah.
We might be better off moving forward with what
That
you're talking
battery
about
ain't
for
lasting
15 grand.
No.
Yeah.
No, no.
But what a great
To me, the
idea.
more
Our
electronics,
space
the
isn't
more
that big.
opportunities.
I see them all over the
The
place,
interest
and I
of
was like, this would be,
efficiency,
yeah, this would be
And
pretty cool. if
absolutely,
we-
I love doing research. You can ask my wife. I'll review something for 2 years before I buy it, so I'll be happy to research that.
See you in 2 years.
I know, right? That's what that kind of coincides with replacing the rest of them, so it's perfect time.
This cost is much better.
Calm down, y'all are getting Bob upset.
Yeah, Bob's like, Shirley just spent another 3 grand.
One
Dustin,
question, I forgot, so the radios and the Z-turn, we're buying those. We're not leasing those, right?
No, we would put all of this on the capital lease.
Wait,
On-
lease the mowers?
Yeah, we would do the whole capital, we would do the capital payment on all of it, because here's what
Radios
happens.
too?
Yeah, we throw it all onto the capital lease for the purchase. Because when that so I updated the mower to, if we do the two. So you're talking about $899,500, right? The further down that number goes, the higher up that interest rate is gonna come. All right? So we can do the borrow for 4
Say
years
that
and all
again,
this.
Charlie.
So the lesser amount that we purchase, that we're borrowing,
The rate goes up.
higher
Right.
the rate will go up.
Correct.
So you think 60 grand's gonna jack the rate up?
It could. I mean, as volatile as what the rates have been.
The rate that you mentioned earlier that
The
gave us
3.5
the
to
right returns,
3.75.
that was for the whole thing, not
That's
just the
correct.
trucks that we were
That is
talking
correct.
about at the time.
Yes, it would be everything in this category, under equipment vehicles.
I've asked banks, when it was $500,000, they turned me down. They want more. So,
They want to make more money.
Some of these, though, these small purchases, it seems to me ridiculous to finance them.
So if we can, let's circle back to what you're talking about on the 23rd, when we're going through general fund, because the bottom number after that 9 months is going to be important to us for July, August, September, October, November, where we have little revenues coming in during those months. We start getting revenue in December, January, February. So, but we can circle back around to that.
Yeah,
I completely understand what you're talking. You're talking
$66,000,
33,000, 31,000.
We're gonna
Is it
finance
going to
it.
make a big difference? Probably not, but it could have that, a negative impact on that general fund side, which we can talk through that on the 23rd. Now, the one thing that I know nobody on this council has experienced, because we haven't done any capital leases over the last 4 years, is even though y'all, let's say we get this, and y'all approve it all, August, September, right? We still are going to be required to bring y'all a resolution to approve the lease purchase, right? And that's something that started in, what, 08, 09? All the banks require it. Even though it's approved and everything else through your budget, we still have to bring y'all a resolution with an agreement, which we would do probably in October. October, November, yeah.
November,
Yeah.
like December 1st.
Bob wants December, so there you go. We'll do it in November, and then we won't close until December, provided all this goes through. But Dusty, you want to talk about the truck?
Yep, I'll throw together my last request. So for the second request would be a Ford F-450 dump truck. I thought Tim was going to go first, so he was going to preface the dump truck and the need. But I want to go over something again before I ask this request, and it's how much this department has changed over the past 4 to 5 years in terms of what we're responsible and what we actually do as a department. So when our landscaping staff came over initially, or before our landscaping staff came over initially, we were responsible for very much just your recreation side, some parks, and the beach and swim center, some events as well. But once landscaping came over, we were tasked with making sure that we do those major projects as well when it comes to the mowing and any beautification in the city. So as we were a department to begin with, we had 2 maintenance staff members. So fully understood that we didn't need to be a fully, equipped department at the time. But since then, we're now up to 12 full-time staff members. Which includes our landscaping and our projects. So right now, as a department, we are solely reliant on other departments in terms of equipment. So we do not have any backhoes, front loaders, dump trucks, anything like that. We specifically have our work trucks, utility trucks, and then some of those smaller pieces of equipment that we were able to get, which has been fantastic. So, so that's where I wanted to start as to why I'm asking for this, because what we've seen is a lot of times during our landscaping, projects and things of that sort, whether it's starting to move mulch or riprap, palm trees down the center of Stonecrest Boulevard, we are reliant on Public Works to supply those dump trucks. What you'll hear from Tim is we currently have 2 inoperable dump trucks. So when they're running 5 days a week with 2 dump trucks, that basically puts us at the mercy of whenever it's available. So you're either not doing the project until one becomes free, or you're getting a phone call and say, hey, one's available, drop everything, and you have 10 minutes to use this, or you have 2 hours to use this dump truck. So while our staff has a fantastic relationship, it is not an efficient way to do the things that we need to do as a department. The other part of it is we've looked at dump trailers and things of that sort, but the things that we potentially haul from time to time, we don't have the capacity with our vehicles to haul that. So now you're potentially asking to borrow vehicles from other departments as well just to use a dump trailer, so it defeats the purpose of it. We've have staff members using their own personal vehicles to transport things, and that's something that we do not want to do as a city whatsoever. But when you have to complete a project, you have to get it done. So I say all that to say we are requesting an F-450 dump truck for those reasons. We want to make sure that we become a self-reliant department so that Public Works isn't having to cut things short whenever they're 5 days a week, doing their projects. We want to make sure that we're able to continue giving the level of service that we want to provide our residents and do a lot of those park action plans that I think, I look at Pitcairn Park and I think that's been a fantastic example of the things that we can do as long as we're equipped. So as a department, our goal over the next few years is to make sure that we continue building at least step by step. I'm not going to drop $1 million worth of equipment on you right off the back, but we want to continue to build and really make sure that our department has what they need to offer the highest level service that we can, because at the end of the day, that's what we're here for, is to give residents the best service that we can. So I say that to say that would be my request for the F-450 dump truck, and that would be staff's major ask and request from council.
Can you make that a foreman's vehicle?
What's that?
Can you make that a foreman's vehicle?
A foreman's vehicle?
Yeah, so you give your foreman, they drive trucks around all day. Can you make that a foreman vehicle to where they can just roll that in there, and then we don't have to come out of pocket to buy another foreman vehicle, like a Colorado or a little truck that doesn't work?
So right now, our team leads, they do have F-150s, so they use them as their work trucks. We are trying to make sure we're not using it as an everyday vehicle so that we can make it last as long as possible. But the good part about the F-450, as you know, is it's not a CDL, so we can have any staff member use it. So if we do need our team leads to go out and visit sites or to haul things to sites, we can absolutely do that. We don't necessarily, like I said, want to make it an everyday vehicle, but we can absolutely use it and utilize it as that.
How are you pulling the utility tool right now?
It is on a trailer.
Yeah, but how are you, what kind of truck are you, what truck are you pulling with?
Right
Because if you got all
now, so-
150s, it won't haul it.
Yeah, so it's, we have a Chevy 1500. That's our largest one.
You're hauling the utility with the trailer with a
Yes.
1500.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So currently our fleet
They're
consists
not
of.
going over the road like you do. They're
Yeah,
just-
we're not
they're
going
just
too
going 10
far,
blocks.
but our truck fleet right now is Rangers,
Still not cool,
F-150s,
though.
and the Chevy 1500. So that's our largest
that's just-
capacity one.
I don't know how you haven't blown a transmission out of every truck you hook that thing to. I mean, that's a 10,000-pound piece of
Oh,
equipment.
we hook it up to the mini truck.
You hook it up to truck Norris, huh?
Hey, it's
Truck
Truck Norris.
huh?
Don't let that
Okay,
be more the
all right, I got you now. I got you. Now I know
So
what.
he's gonna have a hemorrhage
Yeah,
over here.
and we don't transport it very often, but I mean, like I said, we do what we can with the equipment that we have currently.
I can appreciate that.
So looking at the dump truck, I know we got Public Works has dump trucks, Stormwater's asking for 2. So how many dump trucks do we have in the city? Because we're one city. I know you want to be a self-sustained
Absolutely.
department, but
I think we have 2, maybe 3 total. That are
and then we'll have 2
operational.
more, so we'll have 5.
Yes.
The third one that we have
Well,
is
and
on its last leg.
I guess my question, I'm trying to wrap my head around, I mean, how often would this $100,000 dump truck you're requesting be used?
So,
And do we have anything to just, I mean, I know you're saying there's a need, because sometimes you can't get one, but I would like to see some hard numbers, like we've
Yeah.
requested it
Well,
50
your-
times, and
your
it's
point,
released 5
we're
times.
increasing
I
the
know-
dump truck
Fleet?
fleet by 66%
Yes,
without this one.
without that one.
Right.
So,
So
I mean,
I get it.
will there be the opportunity, and maybe it's something where it's scheduled, Public Works gets it 3 days a week, you get it 2 days a week.
I believe the initial dump truck total was at 4,
yes.
but we have been without one for a year, and then one is completely inoperable. So we have 2 dump trucks in the entire city,
That's correct. Yeah.
And the grapple truck.
and the grapple truck.
Which is great for picking up brush and limbs and things like that, but not for carrying your loads.
No, I'm just trying to
and
get an
things.
idea.
So, yeah.
And for example, in terms of some of the stuff that we do at the parks and things, like our grapple truck can't get to it. So, we're either loading it in a dump truck or we're putting it in smaller vehicles and transporting it.
And I've talked to a couple of people from the Parks and Rec Department recently, and I asked, what would you like to have in the Parks and Rec, like the budget line? And I'm glad to see this, because one of the first things they said is they need a dump truck in their department, because there's so many projects that they're working on that they can't finish or complete or even start, because they need to wait for the other dump trucks to become available. And they're like, it would make us much more efficient and much more.
But is that because we're down 2?
And it might be because we're down to, but they're
Right.
waiting for those 2 that they are using all the time.
So it's
But if we're buying 2 more already, we're gonna buy 3 more?
So what are
Well,
we doing with the
so
2 that are down?
We're
Well,
about
in
to get to
fairness, it
that.
sounds like we're replacing 2 that are junk,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So that'll give us
That-
4.
And I won't speak for Public Works, but.
We'll get to the dump trucks. I'll tell you what, if I can touch on the fire one, and then we'll get Tim up here and we'll talk through the dump trucks, and then, as we can, we'll segue into, yeah. So just briefly on this, new four-wheel drive, 3/4 ton, truck that, Chief's asking for. So, not sure if y'all are familiar with what we call the brush truck. It's that red pickup truck with the equipment slide and, skid in the back. So it's with all that equipment in it, it's within
you, Dustin.
1,000 pounds of its weight limit. So it's not a viable option to pull the boat or the rescue trailer. This truck would actually replace the Truck 22, which is an old 1500 that was repurposed out of Public Works. We would actually repurpose that even once again, if we're able to move forward with this, for PD, for them to haul their equipment trailer around from time to time. That enclosed trailer's got the barricades, cones, and things like that we set up for all the city events. So it would be good enough for that, just to sit to the side, be used during those occasions. But with what the goal is to replace it with either an F-250 or a Chevy 2500 diesel, which would adequately tow the trench and confined space rescue trailer and the boat, as we need to take it out to be serviced or things like that. And it would be attached to those. So that's what his request is, and he can speak more to that on the 23rd, whenever we meet here. But that's what the need is there, is he has to call generally Jeremy back in if he needs the equipment trailer towed, because Jeremy's got a 2500, right? And that's what he's driving. So he's got to call a maintenance guy who's already off work and already at the house. He's got to come back and then hook up with the trailer, tow it wherever it needs to be. If the boat has to be taken out of the city for maintenance and things like that, again, you're working with the same thing. The rescue trailer is probably the biggest need, though, as far as being able to tow it with the trenching and excavation stuff on it from a safety standpoint. So that was Chief's request there. And I'm not going to ask if y'all have any questions, because I can promise you I will not be able to answer
So you
those.
don't know-
Something I just wanted to float, Charlie. How old's the brush truck? The brush truck's like a 2000 model, isn't it?
Don't know.
Probably.
I don't
Probably
have that
older than that.
information.
It's got a
It is old.
7.3.
Could be
It's got
older.
a 7.3, so it's like 96 to 99.
Yes.
So,
Yeah,
I mean, you look at that, I understand
What is that, a
the engine.
25, 250?
It's a 350.
350?
I don't think the brush truck's that big. I think it's just a 250, but I could be wrong. I don't have the details on that
Either
truck.
way, it's
To your
got a
point-
7.3 in it, and we've already bulletproofed it. And the problem is the Joker is old as the day is long. And would we not be better off in upgrading to like a 550, to where you got a brush truck capability and you've got the towing capabilities that we need?
So this would have everything from the brush truck, the equipment slide and everything else on it. So it wouldn't just be to tow things around.
So it'll
So
be
how-
the new brush truck.
Correct. It would basically become the new brush truck.
Okay.
So it'd be your utility player then?
Correct.
So you're looking at like, we're looking at, with the brush truck, if it's a 250 now and you only got 1,000 pounds, all the towing capacity and the weight capacity, all it's done is gone down over the years.
Right.
Doesn't go up.
So I don't think it's a 250, to be quite honest.
It's got
It
to,
looks like a massive truck, but it's just got a lot of stuff on it. But we can, when Chief comes back, we can get y'all the details on that.
You're looking at a 450 now, right?
According to what he sent me, it's a 250 or a Chevy 2500 diesel.
he's going to have to go higher than that if he wants to put all the brush stuff on there and.
Well,
and
if
still
you're going
be-
to haul anything with it, I would
Yeah, I mean-
agree with you, Chris.
It's just, because what you got is either a 250 or a 350, and gross vehicle weight on that's going to be, that you can tow is going to be 9,000 to 10,000 pounds on a 250.
And you probably got a
12 to-
couple thousand on the
about
back.
12,000
So I
on a
couldn't tell you.
350. Yeah, and you got all the
You
tanks.
could
and
have
got a
said
everything.
all of that
couple
in
thousand on the
Mandarin, and I would have understood it just as much. I am definitely not a car guy.
So it sounds like you're
you're-
asking the chief to come back with a
I'd
different request.
I'd rather roll it all into one truck
Yeah.
and get us another truck. I mean, the brush truck, it's still got a good life to it. Don't get me wrong. But if we can consolidate equipment and we can purchase something that's gonna last us for a long time and be something that's logical as far as.
Understand.
You can pull
Yep.
this, and plus, when you're going in,
For not much more money, you can have a
you
lot
can
more
have
utilization.
exactly what you need.
Right.
Okay. I will have this conversation with Chief on Monday when he's back in town, and we'll report back.
Thanks.
Either on or before the 23rd workshop. Tim, come on up, buddy. No,
Yeah, you just need to sit there. You're already,
no, you're good.
you've already got your 10,000 steps in there, right?
You can take a brief break.
By the way, good job loading the lips of your team when they talk to Brian.
When you see council, dump truck.
From
Council
your
says,
empty
hey, just say dump
goddamn-
truck. Just say dump truck. Don't say anything else. Just say, hi, dump truck.
They're not lying,
So
though. They use it every day.
Circling back to dump trucks. So in stormwater, you see it's a request for 2 dump trucks. And then down below in general fund, you'll see 2 replacement pickup trucks. So Tim, let's start with the dump trucks, please.
In stormwater, yeah. So we have one truck that is unable to be repaired, which we wanted to replace when we bought the grapple truck. And the grapple truck that we got was great. It's working out super fine. It's just requires a CDL, and we only have a certain amount of drivers, and it doesn't really get anywhere because it's 2 to 3 times as big as a dump truck. But it has come in massively handy, and it does a great job picking up brush and loading things. So that one truck that we had before is still unrepairable. We can't get the brake part.
He's referring to the
Can't
dump
find
truck
it
that we talked to y'all
anywhere,
about
the
last year.
5500.
Yeah, this is that.
It's been parked
2002
down by the
model.
shop for 2 years.
Just
yeah.
sitting.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even
So-
Mr. Shirley tried to help us ascertain the part. It does not exist.
So we have currently 3 operational trucks. A 2006 F-450, which has 146,000 miles on it. It's one we want to replace.
And Tim, briefly, because there's an issue with it, which is why we wouldn't want to transfer it down into Parks and Rec for them to use with the dump bed that you were talking about.
Oh, yeah. So this truck has been with us for a while, and because of the smallness of it and the load that we try to put on it, because we use it for a lot of different things, where the pivot point is, when you lift the hydraulic bed up, where that attaches to the bed, has broken 3 times. So this is a huge safety issue. So if it breaks again with a load and it falls off, we don't really want to go through that. So we can only use that truck for light loads like bags and small amounts of brush or a small amount of mulch. It cannot be used for anything heavy like stone or dirt or anything like that. So that truck is one we would want to replace because it has a safety issue, also as well as the high mileage and the age of the vehicle. So that's one of the trucks we're currently using. Another truck is, the other 2 trucks that we're using is a 2019 5500 and a 2021 5500 HD. So those trucks are our newer trucks, and they seem to be doing well. They have lower mileage on them. We were blessed this week, actually yesterday, I found out that a truck F650 we had out to be repaired a year ago is likely to come back fixed on Friday. But
This the one we had the engine issue with?
no, this was a hydraulic issue that we were having to get cylinders and some other parts for the lift mechanism for the truck bed. This truck is a 2008. It has 138,000 miles on it. So it's getting old. So we're looking to replace those
Your-
2 trucks.
The dead one that hasn't worked in 2 years
Yeah,
and the
the
450.
5500 and the 450.
Is the 650 a CDL or is it hydraulic brakes?
That's the good thing about it. It's a regular driver's license truck.
Okay, so it's hydraulic brakes.
That's the other reason we would like to purchase dump trucks rather than a large truck like a grapple truck, so we can have the guys drive them and go where they need to go without a special certificate on their license.
Now, on these dump trucks, you're having a tow package put on them, right?
They all usually come with a tow package. I'm not sure
Usually
if
the
they
tow package is
specifically
standard under
have
the
one.
state contract.
Sometimes when you
Sometimes
do
they
the dump
are,
trucks, they'll
sometimes they're
come
not.
without the tow hitch on them, just because of the way the dump mechanism works on the smaller trucks. So I just want to make sure that when we purchase it, if we do purchase those, that they've got the towing package.
All the
on
trucks we have
flexibility.
either come with a receiver hitch
Yeah.
or have come with a pintle hitch.
Yeah, okay.
And so these are under stormwater.
They would be under stormwater, yes, sir.
Does Public Works have other trucks?
Yeah, they have maintenance trucks.
No dump
For-
trucks?
Right. So the dump trucks are primarily, I would say, 99% of the time are used for either your curbside collection, like the grapple truck can't pick up bags, or small, tiny brush piles. I mean, it can, but it's gonna cause more damage than it would just doing it the other way. But hauling rock, stone, riprap, things like that for stormwater projects, pipe, dirt, that kind of thing, that's where the grapple truck, we can't utilize it for those. But then they've got regular, just, I would call them pickup trucks, if you will, for patching, go get some coal patch and go patch a pothole, and things like that. So we try to not run the dump trucks if we don't have to, but it's gotten to the point where, and you heard Dustin say it earlier, they're running them 5 days a week, and then we run into storms and things like that. Then it turns into a 6 and 7 day a week operation doing cleanups and things. So, Tim, you want to talk about the pickup trucks?
Yeah, also having the increased amount of number of dump trucks will help us get the curbside collection collected at a Wednesday time frame rather than a Friday time frame, so we can actually get something else done. And we'd like to maintain that high level of service and do other things if possible. So the pickup trucks in Public Works, we had two that were sitting on our apron down at the shop. One was our brine truck, and one was just a pickup truck that had a bad transmission in it and got parked. They've probably been there for 2 years-ish, and they wouldn't move. We had a offer from a junkyard, and we took it, and so they hauled them off. Now we have some space on our apron. A lot of we have 4 trucks that are 14 years old with 150,000 or more on them already that we're still driving, that we use every week, every day.
They get the goodie out of them,
And
that is for sure.
As these trucks are getting older, they get used a lot, and then the increased maintenance repairs costs go up. And this is why we'd like to have these 2 new trucks to replace them and possibly give them to the crew so they could have something new and nice to drive around in. The 2 trucks that we sold were over 220,000 miles. Like Charlie said, we try to get as much out of that truck as we can.
They get it all.
In the future,
Hates-burying.
we'd love to.
It didn't beat the S10.
In the future, we'd love to get on some kind of regular replacement program to get these on a rotation.
And I agree with Tim. It would be great if we could get our maintenance trucks to that 10-year, over 100,000 mile type thing. Just in previous years, the budget just hasn't allotted for it. And there were other needs that got prioritized over it. The guys do a great job. They keep them maintained, and working, as you can tell, by the number of miles and the age on these things. But they definitely get all the goodie out of them for sure.
So with these 2 trucks that you got, Tim, that we're talking about again. Which one? The 2 that we scrapped, that we're talking about replacing those trucks that we scrapped.
Yeah, those were Chevy 1500s.
So we've been getting by without those 2 trucks.
We're riding double, and we're not getting as much done. And we're having to use the dump trucks and riding them around, using more fuel and more wear and tear on the big trucks rather than driving a smaller truck for a small need.
Well, that's what I would
fixing a
say,
sign.
same thing here with the dump trucks. If we're gonna buy 2 more dump trucks, we've had those 2 trucks sitting for years. Buy the dump trucks, put some tool bins underneath them, and outfit them to where our guys can utilize those trucks with a crew cab dump truck.
Those tires are a lot more expensive than just tires on a regular truck.
Oh, yeah, they're E-rated.
I wouldn't want personally, I would not want the dump trucks being used for every single project. If I can send one guy this way in a pickup truck, and one
not
guy
like a
this way in a
250.
pickup truck to do those smaller jobs, instead of 2 guys having to ride in one truck and go over to this project. Now this project's not getting done because I don't have a way to get that guy over to it. Yeah.
Is there a way so right now we're identifying, I think, 5 different trucks that have not been working well, not working at all, et cetera. Is there a way to know what are we going to look at for next year or, 2-5 years down the line of what's the status on our whole fleet?
Sure enough. We absolutely can.
I would really love to understand what we're looking at instead of just on a 1-year,
Okay.
timeline.
Sure.
What are we looking at
Yep.
in the next 5 years
Sure.
to replace what needs to be
Most
replaced?
certainly. Absolutely. Absolutely.
This is the most we've ever offered, one of the budget, because we've been kind of kicking the can down the road.
Yeah.
as I said.
Yeah.
We
But
did a lot last year.
we can 100% get you
We've done a lot in 4 years.
we can absolutely get you that list and what that schedule would look like.
Yeah,
I
'cause
like your
I know
idea, too.
we bought some last year, but guys, trucks, I don't know.
Right.
I'd like to be able to see it in a chart and know what the, timeline is and,
Yeah, like
Oh,
expectation of
10-year
life.
cycle for work
Yeah.
trucks or whatever.
Yeah, we can absolutely, honestly, other than in PD, and not picking on PD, right? But other than PD, it's basically been, you buy a vehicle and you drive that thing until it cannot be replaced, until it's just dead.
And I can
And then,
appreciate
okay, now
that.
we need another one.
But how many are dying?
Well,
You know, how
the
many-
fleet, yes,
how
it
many
is getting
years
older.
or- yeah.
Yeah, how many?
So
So I've
we can
got the same
absolutely put
conversation.
together what a forecasted rotation schedule would look like. Yeah,
I've got 4 more that need to be replaced. I have 2 2011s.
Stop, Tim,
A
stop.
2012 and a 2013. that'll probably come up
Yeah,
in
I'll
the
kick your
next
coverage
2 to
down.
4
There you go.
years.
That's what I'm talking
Yes,
about.
yes. We can put that schedule together for you, absolutely. Probably in the next week or so, we can get that to
So
you.
for anybody that's here or watching, where my head goes from your comment, Carmen, is I just did some quick math with interest. What we're talking about purchasing and leasing, got to be 25 grand a month. Has to be. Every bit of 25 grand a month with interest.
That's a
I
Bob
don't know that it would
question.
be that much.
We're talking with the lease payment?
Yeah.
We paid, it's one payment made.
And that's on a 5-year schedule.
A 4-year schedule. It's a 4-year
Okay, so
schedule.
4 years, it's more.
4 years. It's,
Now it's 35.
It's, I got it ready. 243, basically a $243,000 payment over 4 years. T-Cud would get 18% of it, Stormwater would get 22%, and General Fund would get 60% of that payment. We just allocate it out depending on the departments.
240 annually?
Yes.
Okay.
240, 243K annually based on 4%.
Okay.
It
Right.
could
So
change.
That's 21 grand
Yep,
a month.
about a month, yep.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's 21 grand a month just on this year's budget, right?
Right, exactly.
So 2 years from now, we got to replace 5 more vehicles. Right, now we got another 20 grand. Now it's 40.
And now we're at 4.5, that's only half a
But
percent.
at least we
Right,
save, we
correct.
save a little bit of money with interest income too. We gain
Yes.
that too if we don't spend cash, you know what I mean?
And I'm not arguing the philosophy.
Yeah, yeah.
What I'm saying
Looking
to
at the forecast.
support Carmen's comment is, yeah, let's get on a schedule. Let's understand what's coming.
That could be done, yeah.
So we can account for that, because if we don't need to spend any money for another 4 years, then we're gonna be whole on having assets paid off, and we'll be ready
Yeah.
for another 20 grand.
Correct.
Or with interest, 25 grand, right?
Yeah, I mean,
But if
and
it's
and
another
realistically,
25
Without cracking our heads
Next year.
on an
Right.
additional 20 grand.
And realistically, I mean, the ones that you're going to see on a somewhat annual basis, as Chief Crosby noted, is 3 to 4 patrol cars. And that's just, I mean, they're being driven constant, 24/7. So, yeah, and
Well, they're
years,
driven 8 hours.
years ago, we
Everyone's
didn't have that replacement schedule on
They
PD.
were awesome. Thank you.
So, and it was really not until Chief Parker came in to where we did a big purchase, but then that allowed him to start, okay, I'm gonna replace these a little bit earlier, so then we can get it down to that 3 or 4 per year as we've gone on. And then Chief Crosby's obviously been able to further enhance that, so. But yeah, looking at it from at least I'll call it a maintenance truck type thing. I mean, yeah, we're generally not asking for a whole bunch of those things every single year. Yeah,
No, no.
because
I will
they're
say
carrying them
Tim's
out.
fleet is by far the oldest out within the departments as well.
It is.
But based on our discussion, we're going to be asking for a lot more 3 or 4 years from now. And we'll be
Maybe
prepared
some,
for that.
but yeah, and we'll evaluate that and put that list together and formulate
that'd
that
be great.
schedule so y'all can see that.
Yeah, I'd like
Absolutely.
to just see where the, return on investment is.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
ideally,
and our, I'm not gonna say policy, but our kind of, the way we've operated at least since I've been here, in 2001, it's, you drive it until it's dead. Period. End of story. And then, okay, you might or might not get one. And then if you do, you drive it till it's dead, you know?
It's
I
just
mean,
that cycle of deadness. Like
correct.
If we can't get in front of that, then we're always going to be having to put more
Right.
money into it. And at some point, that interest rate starts to be diminishing
Right.
returns.
Well, and if we can cycle them out sooner than every 15 years, yeah, you get more value on the, whenever you cycle it out too. Correct.
But if we plan, say, for every year, we know, regardless, it's not gonna change.
Right.
Of $35,000 to $40,000 a year in vehicle lease payments.
Right.
Then we just build it into the budget.
Right,
that's right.
absolutely.
That's exactly right.
Absolutely, and I
And if
think
it
we
goes a
could
year
get towards
early,
that.
And if we don't have the expense, we
Love
bank
it,
it.
love it. That'd be
Yeah,
great.
that's what
Yeah.
I think that for that longevity of budget planning and sustainability.
Yes, absolutely.
Knowing what that looks like.
Absolutely.
For
We would
those
love
big
to do that.
expenses would
100%.
be really
I think we're
fantastic.
finally in a position where.
That would be awesome.
We
Absolutely.
couldn't in the past.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Correct, yeah.
we finally have gotten, exactly, we've gotten into a financial position. We've spent the last 3 years, I mean, by the end of this year, I think we're done with all but maybe one old lease payment after this year. Yeah, so, I mean, which puts us in a great spot where we can, yeah.
4 capital leases, yeah, we averaged previously.
There were several that were due, like ending 2025.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Yep.
So what if we, Here's a crazy idea. I don't know, call me crazy if I am. I probably am. As those lease payments end, what if we do a Dave Ramsey and we just keep paying that to ourselves and keep saving that? If it's already built into the budget.
Well,
In a very
either that or it
specific
becomes
account.
the next
Yeah,
lease
we're-
payment.
we're
Like,
already
like Tom
spending
was
it,
saying,
right?
where
We're
it's,
already-
X number of dollars per year that's in the budget, and that's covering the lease payments, and a new one doesn't get added on until that one's paid off, that kind of, I mean, we can absolutely work towards that.
Yeah, so if we're doing 20 this year, next year we got some vehicles, another 10,000. Eventually, you're gonna get up to around 40,000
Right.
a month in
Right.
vehicle payments. And we budget that every year, we can start replacing ones that they're not dead.
Right.
But they're limping
But
along.
they're- yes.
And we start, and then we're on a,
You cycle them out before it
But
becomes.
if we have a year
critical
of
issue.
cycles where we don't have to replace as many of them, we
Yes.
got 40,000 a month.
It gets freed up, absolutely.
Yeah.
Could go towards bond debt, could go
Right.
towards savings, into reserves or whatever.
back to
so-
dump trucks real quick. So
Yes,
Tim,
sir.
you said we got 2 are working fine, 1's coming back. So that gives us 3.
Well,
Yeah, we haven't seen it in a year, so hopefully
We're
the
hoping it
mechanics
comes
on it are good.
Hopefully.
The
It's
hydraulics are
coming
gonna be
back, whether
good on
it's
the
working.
lift.
Okay,
Right,
all
it's
Not
coming
dry
back.
rotted.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have potentially 5, but 4 for sure with these 2 new ones.
Somebody's had it for repair for a year?
Yeah, he's been looking for parts, and then they sent him the wrong parts, and then some more parts came, and then he got sideways on some more parts with shipping from other parts of the globe, and
Not my job.
yeah, it's been sitting in a field.
So my point in that is that, and I'm not saying that Parks and Rec don't have a need for a dump truck. But me personally, before we go from, we're working with what, 2 right now? 2 dump trucks? Mm-hmm. We're gonna go to 5.
And,
but now we're
and
gonna
one,
go
and
6.
one only partially works.
Right, but I'm saying, we're getting by with that. If we add 2 more, we go to 4.
Probably not.
Does it
getting
make
by
sense to go to 4 and see how that works, sharing them before we buy a 5th one?
I think it's relative on what you consider getting by. I mean, there's a lot of projects that's had to be delayed because
Right,
of
but we're
these
doubling
things.
our dump truck fleet though.
Right.
From 2 to
No,
4
I understand what
minimum.
you're saying. Yeah,
We
What-
had 4 to start with, and they keep crapping out on us. So
Yeah, so we've been going with just 2.
we've just been going with
Right.
2.
And you
we'll
have
get
to
2 new
understand,
ones.
we've also added miles and miles of roads that we have to patrol for curbside collection with all these new developments, and it takes us longer to get all that curbside collection. These trucks will help us do it
There's a lot
faster.
more.
Well, I'm saying I'm
but-
good with the stormwater ones. I guess what I'm getting at is, does it make more sense to get the 2 ones? So we got 4 guaranteed, 4 good dump trucks, maybe 5. See how it goes before we invest in another dump truck instead of buying 3.
Or what if we did a dump trailer? High-side dump trailer.
You still gotta have something to pull it with.
Well, if we got 450s and 550s in here, we got something to pull it with, and a 250.
Those are
250 will pull it.
T-cuts though,
Huh?
right?
Well, you're asking for 2 new trucks for T-Cud, right? So if we get a 250, with mine, I can haul 12,000-pound dump trailer with an excavator on it, or with a rock or whatever I need to haul in it. Mine will pull it without a problem. So if we're getting 250s, as far as the trucks go, I know there's an issue with length and
Yeah.
being able to turn these things and that kind of thing. I'm working in intersections, so I don't have a 20-acre field to turn them in. And a dump trailer works really well for us.
Yep,
Now, I'm not saying that that's going to be the same for you guys,
okay.
but it'd be worth entertaining versus spending another $82,000 or so for another dump truck. Maybe we
maybe
did a
spend 20
trailer
on a trailer,
and a
right?
dump truck, instead of doing 2 dump trucks at the same time, maybe a trailer and a dump truck would work. Because what I'm getting at is if you're wanting to split off like you guys are talking, you got to take a skiddy one way and you got to take a mini one way. If you got a dump trailer, then you can take either one of those items with you when you go. And you can do what you need to do with that piece of equipment and then go back, scoop it at the end of the day, take it back to the stock and to the shop, and you're good to go.
Yep.
I mean, to me, it would be worth entertaining the idea of it. I know that, close quarters and stuff, but in those close quarters, you got the dump truck. But while we're on the street picking up bags and stuff like that, then you've got the trailer that you could pull with it on the streets and stuff.
So, just so I'm understanding, so we're talking now, based on what you're saying, instead of, and I'm just gonna look at the stormwater and general fund, instead of what would be a total of 3 dump trucks, with one being a small one for tight quarters, which is the Parks and Rec one. you're talking doing 2 dump trucks and 1 dump trailer.
It's a,
Is
worth
it, is,
a-
I
it's
mean,
worth a discussion.
I'm asking just to make sure that I'm following the bouncing ball, if you will.
For the Public Works, yeah. You got, you're wanting to replace, you got the 2
So
trucks.
2
that you
dump
wanna
trucks for
replace.
stormwater,
you
and then I've got 1 dump truck for Parks and Rec. That's what's on the list,
Yeah,
okay? So what am I correct in hearing you say, just do 2 dump trucks, and on the third, do a dump trailer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I just want to make sure before we start looking into,
550, right?
yeah. And then
Wait,
you
does
got
Parks
your,
and Rec, do they have anything to tow a dump trailer with? I think that's.
no,
not currently.
So one of the requests would have to be converted from like a F-350 or F-450 to a F-550 to pull the dump trailer.
no, you can pull the dump trailer with a 250.
Oh,
You
okay,
can.
sweet.
But they don't have a 250.
They don't have a 250.
Right.
You just got 1500s, right?
No, we have two 2500. We have, how many?
But the 2 trucks,
2500s, Chad?
I'm
One's an
talking
old
Parks
one.
and Rec.
The old plow
I'm
truck.
talking Public Works.
Parks and Rec does not have
Yeah, they have
anything
about-
bigger than
You're
1,500.
you're gonna
So
need a
essentially,
Duramax,
the
though.
dump trailer would have to be in stormwater.
No, Power Strokes will do it.
Power Stroke could do it.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, if that's
All
the
day,
route
every
we end
day,
up
baby.
going,
Front end
and
will
we've
hold
got to
it, though.
research,
Don't put
and that's
that
why I
bow
was
tie out
asking
there.
Kim, what are we talking about, so we know what to look into and report back on. Basically, what we'd be looking at is a 5,500 dump
I know
bed
it's not
with a
easy.
dump trailer
get
in
those earbuds that do
stormwater,
translation.
and then a 450 in Parks and Rec.
Well, how much is a dump trailer?
Right.
The one
25
I've-
grand.
I'd have to
I've been
price it,
looking
I have
at-
no idea.
I've
What are they,
got-
25,
The one
Chris?
that I've got was like $15,000. And it's not a high side one because I don't require that. But the sides on mine are 4.5 feet. And it's a 20-foot. So it's a tandem axle, 20-foot trailer. And I'll put
We haven't spec'd any dump trailers, so
8,
we'd
9
we'd
yards
have to, because
at
I mean,
a time.
having a 20-foot trailer on the back of a dump truck, especially in traditional TDK, it's going to be a bear to maneuver.
You're not
Right.
going down Windward
No,
and turning around.
no, no. I'm not sure you're getting around down at the end of Point Clear.
Right, no, you're
Yeah,
not.
I mean, it's just, I mean,
You need the small dump
we'll,
truck.
we'll,
for that.
we'll research it and look into it.
Just,
and
that's
see.
all I'm asking.
Yes,
Let's,
absolutely.
let's look into it.
Considering the trucks.
Just
because-
like the utility tool that we got, we
Yep.
looked at, hey, man, it might work, let's try it.
Yep.
Turns out it works pretty good.
Argument for staff, I'll say this, and for our residents, the expectation that our residents have for pickup, for services, there were a lot of complaints when we couldn't get to brush and things like that. You know, when people were doing spring cleanups and fall
Yeah.
cleanups and so forth. And it shows when you only have 2 out of 4 dump trucks
Right.
working.
Yeah.
So there's something to be said for that,
And,
too.
and I'm going to go back to something Tim started with. The grapple truck has been fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, as far as the brush pickup and things like that. What that did was it saved us from having to add headcount,
Right.
right? So
Or
it's
somebody
been
getting hurt
fantastic.
picking up heavy
Right.
logs, things like
Yes,
that. Right.
I mean, it's been fantastic. Yeah, we're not having to use the front end loaders as much on some of that
Fire
stuff.
dump truck around.
Yeah, so it's been fantastic. So we definitely appreciate
Good.
that. We're just at a point where, you know, we need that versatility that dump truck's going to provide us that the grapple truck doesn't. And, but yeah, we'll research on the dump trailer, you know, on specs and cost and things like that, and take a look at that, and we'll report back to you.
And if Tim and Dustin can talk, I mean, I guess my only question would be, if we add the 2 dump trucks, we know we got 4, we may have 5, is that enough for the 2 departments to function? Since they've been functioning.
Certainly more
And that's
efficiently than they
something
have
we'll
with
we'll
2.
have a conversation about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, you're going from 2 to 5. 2
Yeah.
to 4 guaranteed, maybe 5.
Yeah.
If you tell me it's not enough, it's not enough, but if you say, look, let's try it for a year, it doesn't work, then we buy the 5th dump truck. I'm just throwing it
Right.
out there.
No, I understand exactly what you're saying. We can definitely have those conversations at the staff level, and
I would
again,
suggest
yeah,
let's leave it in there and see what it does to the budget. Because we'll know we can pull 100 out if we need to.
Sure.
You know what I mean? If we
Well,
have
wouldn't this
$100,000
also be
delta.
an opportunity to start working on that fund,
Yes.
right? So if we know that whether it's now or next year, we're going to need to add to this fleet, whether it's to add what we're trying to decide on today or the new stuff that's going to die, we're
Right.
going to need to do that. So if we can have this in a nice little chart, and then we can figure out if we don't need it right now, then maybe we do put away and put those funds aside and earmark them exactly for where they're going to go. And then when that budget comes, this conversation comes next year, then it's either we really did need them, or we've done fine without them, but now we've got two more that have died.
Right.
And we already have the funds in place for that.
Okay, sure, absolutely.
Makes sense.
And we should be able to have all that pulled together in time for the next workshop, if not sooner.
Cool.
All right, cool.
What else we got?
All right, now we're on to stormwater budget. So for projected revenues, you can see what we've collected year-to-date is a little over 1.2 million. Forecasting for the 9 months, 1.2 million. Just to be conservative on that line item, could it be more than the 1.210? It could be. We're just being conservative. We do get minimal payments, once we get to this time of year. On the stormwater end, it's not much. But as you look at, if we're forecasting across a 12-month period, we would envision this budget would probably be about 1.3 million. Just because of the new, the growth that has come on since last year. Plus we've got, we've got the commercial project over in Windhaven that's already started with building 2, so that's gonna add ERUs, to the mix. The Indian, I don't know if the new Indian grocery store was on the last buildings or not.
I just got the stormwater list the other day, I haven't seen it.
Okay, so that's obviously some ERUs that would be added in as well. So that's what we're forecasting, at least during the 9 months, is the 1.2 million. With staff, with your salaries and wages, this is 35% of your public works staff, all right? Because we don't have a separate stormwater staff, right? It's public works guys, they do the streets and roads, and they do the stormwater. So this represents, I'm pretty certain it's 35% of what their total salaries are. And again, across the 20 pay periods for the year, including that up to 4%, as we've done in the other budgets. There is no new headcount request in this department at all. So, Tim, I'm going to let you take it away, and we'll start there at professional services.
Okay, yeah, I've chosen a few line items to walk through, just preliminary. Professional services is, what we put in there is engineering and surveying. And we've got several projects that are outstanding on invoices for upcoming projects that haven't been billed by the engineer yet. So I don't know what they are. They haven't hit the line item yet, is why it's still zero. So we're still
We didn't have
waiting
a
on
quote or anything
invoices.
from them?
You what?
No, they've already done the work. They just haven't invoiced us yet.
We
Right.
didn't have a quote to know what they were gonna invoice us?
No, it's stuff we call them on, and then they invoice us after that.
Small
We
jobs.
don't
You're talking about
normally
some
quote it.
surveying and some
Okay.
things like that. We're not talking about massive engineering projects.
Right. I'm thinking like we're laying out Saguaro Circle or
No,
something.
no.
Okay.
That,
I'm like, hang on a minute, we
that
got
one's,
a
that
quote
one,
for
that part's already been done.
Okay.
But what, I think really what Tim's referring to is just those small projects.
Gotcha.
It's probably probably $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. For whatever reason, the engineering firm just hasn't invoiced us yet. So that's why that's showing as zero.
Gotcha.
So the next would be travel and training. That encompasses stormwater training for staff and certification renewals related to stormwater, SEPSI, Certified Erosion Control Inspector, and things like that. The vehicle maintenance is a little bit different because we have these older trucks that we're trying to take care of, and that's why it's so high.
Yep.
Drainage maintenance is that same balancing number for this fund. And current expenses in that line item do not reflect encumbrances that we have for upcoming projects because they either haven't started yet due to scheduling, project approvals, or we have one project that's being held up by property owners who are uncooperative. And that's why that is different in drainage maintenance. The IT software is software annual fees. They all come due in October. And that would be Esri and Brightly, which is our mobile 311. We use that every week to mark piles and debris and refrigerators and couches and whatever.
It basically creates the
to pick
work
up.
order for the guys.
And it's a work order system that we use on our every Public Works person has it on their phone, and we use it every day. So that's what all those line items that I picked out are basically for. I do have a project list we put together in May that's almost up to date because things have happened since May that have added to the list. Is there any other questions after my?
I do want to touch on one thing. So Tim had talked about the drainage maintenance material that we always use that as the balancing number for revenues over expenditures. And you'll see here that we've kept back, if you will, that 305, 236 at the bottom. And again, that's just to carry us forward with ending June 30th. And we'll still have, you got payroll and things like that. So it's carrying a balance forward to help offset those expenses until we start getting those. So and it all boils down to it just being a transition year of changing fiscal years. So that's why we wanted to carry a balance forward.
Just looking at the fuel, I just got a question. So we don't have a fuel depot per se,
We do for off-road diesel.
for off-road diesel.
And
but-
over at the fire department for the fire trucks. Outside of that, we have a gas card through the state that we use primarily at Circle
Man.
K. And it gives us a discount off the price per gallon for our unleaded type vehicles.
Okay. Now, with that, are all those cards up to date? We got
Yes.
everybody,
They're
all
all
of our
new.
guys have got them.
Yeah, we
and
just
they're
got all new cards.
Yep.
Because I was gonna say that the renewal period just came up, you know.
Yes, sir.
'Cause we got, I don't know, are we running Marathon Wex or whatever it is?
Fuel Man?
Hold on, I'll tell you.
I think it's Fuel Man.
I got the card in my
I
pocket.
can't, I don't remember.
I know it's through the state. It's that.
I got you, okay.
So it's through their computer,
Yep.
yeah, WEX, yep.
Yep.
It's through their procurement stuff, we're able to get these. So we save off of what it shows on the pump
Yep.
whenever we get it. So each employee that has access to a vehicle is assigned a employee number, driver number. The card is actually assigned to the vehicle.
Okay,
And then Dana, as the fuel bills comes in, assigns those amounts to the appropriate departments.
okay. Right, I know we have to keep off-road diesel for our backhoes and
Right.
trackhoes, all that good
Right,
stuff.
yeah, we have
So-
2 tanks, one at the chipping yard and one at the municipal
The
fleet
public works
maintenance.
facility. Yep.
Okay,
And those are on an antenna to where once it hits a certain level, they just automatically come out and fill them back up for us.
gotcha, great.
I have a couple of quick questions.
Yes, ma'am.
On professional services, I'm looking at 12-month to 12-month, you're going from 10,000 to 6,000. Is there a reason why it's going down in your budget? Like, it says that you had budgeted last year 10,000. It says that you are expecting to use 6,000 for the first 9 months.
Correct.
And then the 12th month is still at the 6,000.
And that's just really because of what we've experienced through the first 9 months.
Okay.
With those encumbered funds that haven't been posted here yet, because they haven't been invoiced. But you're talking 2,000 to 3,000.
Yeah.
At most 4, so we
Some of
don't
them are
anticipate that going higher.
apples to apples, so
Yeah.
I didn't know if there was expectation that it was going to go down.
Yep.
And then on the vehicle and equipment leases, it's gone from 62,000 for
The grapple truck lease
is that
payment
what,
comes on.
is that's what it's coming on, okay?
But we have a payment coming off this.
Yeah.
This is the last payment for,
The leaf truck. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
front loader,
in
too.
this, after this
Didn't we
25,
get the
26
front loader
year,
paid off too?
the leaf truck lease comes off of it.
Okay.
So if we're able to do a new capital lease like we're just talking about, it would replace it, if you will.
Next year.
Okay.
Correct. In 26, 27, it would replace it, yep.
How are the projects going, Tim? Are we making headway on the stormwater?
Some
side?
I
yes,
would love to
some
get
no.
that list.
We've got one project that's been ongoing for a while. We've had the surveyor out, and it is in engineering being drawn at the moment with recommendations.
And that's the Beechwood Cove one.
There's one coming up for your next approval at your next meeting that was a surprise to us that we found in the woods, and
Yeah.
it was.
I think
a-
I shared the
It was a
pictures
bad
with y'all, the one on Blue
situation
Bell.
that's caused a safety hazard, and we're trying to find the best solution for it with the least amount of money. A few other things have come up that we're working on with the engineer to try to get the best solution for, and we'll bring those to you as we get them, trying to balance what funds are available with what needs are and prioritize them as we can.
And that all comes out of that drainage maintenance line, right?
Yes, sir.
Correct, yes. Finish Cuyo Court, or Cebu, which one? I forget.
Cebu has been finished with the flowable fill thing that we put in the ground, and we also replaced some asphalt and some curbing there to make that water run where it's supposed to run into the inlet.
So that project's done. Saguaro Circle, where 3, 4 easements left?
1, 2, 3, probably 4 with one vacant property owner.
Yeah. So as soon as we can get those easements, and Tim did verify with the contractor, because obviously we put it out for bid and council did the award, they're still holding their price. So,
I don't know for how long, but they're still
For this long, they're holding their price? That's amazing.
right now, yes.
Yes. Very, very appreciative of them for
Wish
doing
those
that.
residents would, they need me to bring them a pen, I'll bring them a pen, so they can sign this thing, we can get it out the way and let's get going.
Yeah, the ones that are, the ones that we're not getting the easements from are the ones that this will absolutely fix their issues.
Is
They're
there-
impacted the most.
I've seen some of the emails going back and forth. Is there, and maybe it's already happened and I just don't know, but just having them come in to do a face-to-face conversation? They won't come in, or
We have tried.
you've done the conversation?
No. Tim, I know you talked to some of them back and forth,
I've
but
met with almost, or talked to all of them at some point, either voicemail, face-to-face, or email. They've all been delivered documents. We've had some revisions to the documents through our attorney,
yep, which y'all saw that.
which have been forwarded back to them. Some of them I haven't heard from. One of them has retained a lawyer, and I've talked to her a couple times. I don't know what avenue to go next.
Can we talk to the engineers and have them re-engineer the project to where we just take those folks out of the
We
equation?
can't, that's where the pipe
That's-
outfalls.
Can you readjust the pipe to make it fall inside the road?
We cannot.
Why not? Is the drain not there?
It has to go, there is no drain there.
Well, I'm saying,
I
is the
mean,
drain not there to where you got high pipe, low pipe, you put an inlet box on the bottom side of it, and
The
you
outfall
work to
goes
the low
down
pipe?
between two properties toward the pond at number 4.
So if you
That's what I'm
discharge
saying,
it
if you
further.
could move that pipe out in the middle of the road into our right-of-way instead, and just abandon that old pipe, fill it with flowable fill, and be done with it.
We
and
can't,
move
that's the
pipe.
way it
Can't do
outfalls. There's nowhere to outfall except right there.
Can you lower the box, the bottom of the box?
Do we have what now? In the road, yes, but where we're doing is going to encroach anywhere between, 1 and 3 feet? And at least on some of their properties where we're
It's a 10 to 15-foot easement down the property line. Right by the houses, we made it 10 feet, so it
keep it
wouldn't
narrow.
keep it as narrow as we can for the machine
10 foot
we
on center
need
of
to
the
put
pipe.
in there.
But
The
it-
pipe that's
yeah.
there now kind of meanders down through there.
You're talking about the low end of that Saguaro Circle. That's where the water's going to go. Those are the people that are having the issues, have been complaining about the issues, that started us investigating this and getting a good engineering design that wouldn't cost us millions of dollars, and they won't sign the easements.
Well, don't we have an
Can't fix
easement there in place already?
Not that I can find.
How'd we get the pipe down there in the first place?
1979.
It was just installed.
I mean,
Yes.
I've
There were
I've
probably
seen
not
it, I've seen the
houses there.
corrugated pipe and
It was
everything.
installed since I've been here, but I don't think there was an easement that was.
You hadn't been here since
procured.
77?
No.
88.
No, he's saying it's been
88.
installed since he's been here, but yeah.
88.
I mean, back in those
predates
days,
the
easements weren't being obtained, weren't even being asked for.
Yeah, they
Because
just
the
put
reason
pipes in.
I'm asking is because if we've got just a small easement, if we got, just enough to get the pipe
Basically.
through, go through there, get Huffstetler to come in and bore it in, an 18-inch line and pull you one back through and let's go. Be
Right
done
now,
with it.
we don't have legal rights to even get onto their property over that
All
line.
right.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
That's a whole nother conversation.
It
So-
is, it is.
Yeah, anything else on the stormwater budget? Okay. All right, Dustin,
All right, thank you.
come on back,
Come
buddy.
on back up here.
I don't know why you won't. Thank you, Tim. All right, so as Dustin is making his way up
You know?
for the events tourism, on revenues, so again, we're forecasting those for 9 months. I want to touch primarily on your events vendor and the events sponsor. So you're going to see, as we do the monthly financials, especially by the time we get to end of year, you're going to see numbers in there because it's a lot of the way that our sponsorship works is the first $54,500 that we collect from the sponsors is in general fund, and everything above and beyond that goes into this fund, okay? So we've got our second billing that'll be going out. So you'll see those revenues starting to materialize in that budget in September. As far as the event vendor, you'll see that starting to tick up a lot as we, primarily in August for the Catawba Fest, which we've moved out of October and moved into September. So you'll see those vendor fees coming in August, whereas when it was in October, you would see those vendor fees coming in at the tail end of the year. The good thing about, well, I guess actually we're changing the budget year, the fees and the expenses will all fall in the same fiscal year, you know? So, but even if we didn't change with moving it to September, it's now you're gonna have your revenues and your expenses in the same year, whereas in the years past, you're getting your revenues in September, and then all your expenses are in the next fiscal year. So, but that, you'll see those two line items ticking up over the next over August and September for sure. The transfer from hospitality tax, really we just determine that number based on what the budget is to fill it out and balance and try to get that balance. So that's where the 145,565 comes in, and when we get to hospitality tax, you'll see that as a in the expense as a transfer over. So that's the revenue end of things. Salaries, this makes up Caroline's salary with her the same bump that we would be looking for the other staff, and it also includes your public safety and maintenance staff that their time working that. So it hits their overtime, and then it's a journal entry that Bob will make, once a quarter?
I do it every month.
Oh, you do it monthly?
I do it
Okay. And then those expenses get applied back into it, so. So that's the salaries. Dustin, if you'll start us at travel and training and try to move through it and get to hospitality
I
tax.
think this is the last time I'm going to see y'all tonight, so we'll get this going. Yeah, we'll see. But thank y'all for listening to all of us. So we'll go ahead and get going. Like I did last time, I'll hit some of the major ones, and if y'all have questions, feel free to ask. One of the ones that I wanted to point out is going to be that holiday lighting. I'm sure y'all saw that and said, oh my, that's a big difference. So the part of that holiday lighting, it's a combination of two things. It's actually, part of it's Public Works, in terms of all the medians, all the lights in the median down TK Drive during Christmas. So that line item can fluctuate depending on how many lights are broken, how many need to be replaced, how many get damaged while they're up there. So based on their recommendation, they were requesting $10,000 in that line item to make sure that we're replacing all of the lights to make sure they're one color.
Changing to LEDs.
And then also making sure that we're able to have that contingency in case they get broken that they typically do throughout the year. People hit them, they fall down, they break, all that type of stuff. The other portion of that, which is about $8,000, is a request to continue building up the display up at the fountain. Currently. So I have a picture that I think all of y'all will enjoy if you can't see it. But yes, that is a golfer losing their ball in the pond, in the fountain. So,
So they're watching me golf.
As I was telling Councilman Heislip earlier, it was based off of me and my golf game. So, but we've tried to really, one of the things that you may have noticed is those areas in front of City Hall, we see that as a very centralized area that It's right across the street from City Hall. It's entrance into the peninsula. So we want to continue to enhance those areas. And we've continued to have an idea, once those sailboats were there, what's another piece that kind of ties it all together with TKK? And I could think of nothing better than a golfer losing his ball in the water. So really connects that. That's what those two portions are. So that's why you're seeing that big difference. We didn't request anything in terms of decorations the previous years. Some of that is strictly some of our holiday festival decorations, things of that sort. But a large portion is going to be your median lights. It's going to take up the big chunk of that line item.
So what are we doing for the other side,
Yes.
the new side?
So
We're gonna
that,
put some lights on the palm trees?
so unfortunately, we don't have electricity over there, so it doesn't run in the median. So we've looked at different levels of solar power. Right now, I'm working with Joe Hedgepeth, our ground supervisor, in terms of what can go there. Right now, we're having trouble kind of finding the ones that can really light it up. They're not as powerful ones. We have some sets that we've been testing out, but we haven't found the correct ones yet. But that is absolutely something that we're trying to do at some point, is getting them down Stonecrest, because I think that would be
Wrapping the
Yep.
palm trees.
that would be
around.
fantastic.
Yeah.
So, but we would have to either be a solar or do a massive project to put power there, and
go with
that's.
Well, it's-
Solar it is.
the other thing too is like at Catawba Park, for our folks that are over in Lake Ridge and in Cadence and Cameron Creek, those areas, and they're coming down Gardendale Road to go home. I mean, I think it would be a really good idea for us to put some kind of display over there, like the
Well,
golfer,
One of the things that we've asked out of Finish for Progress whenever, and we're trying to still get the schedule and when they're going to do it, but when the roundabout comes in at Gardendale and Dam Road, putting conduits in there, excuse me, so we could do a sign similar to what's at City Hall and do those decorations.
Yeah.
So it's just, would love to do it right now, but the land available where we could do it and the power available and things like that, it's just not there yet. But it is something that we're planning to look to do in those years once we
Yeah.
get to that point.
We don't have power at the roundabout in front of Walmart.
No, that's why we got the solar lights.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I just want to, I want to make it to where everybody in TEK has the same experience. Christmas, Thanksgiving, everybody's got when you're driving in, I love driving in and seeing the Christmas lights up and everything. And I want,
enjoy it if you live on the peninsula.
that's what I'm saying.
Exactly,
We
exactly.
need
The other
to-
side is
it
looking
needs
for
to
some
be-
love too.
Everybody needs to get some of that love,
And that's absolutely, and we couldn't agree more, and that is what we are working towards. As Dustin indicated, he and his staff are testing out solar strands to where we can light up those trees, especially with those palm trees. It doesn't make sense to put lights on the other trees, on the 160 end of Stonecrest, because you've got the overhead street lights.
Right.
I mean, it's lit up already over there. And it's not holiday lit up, but there's a lot of lights in there. So we are working towards that as we can get that infrastructure and things completed.
And even decorating the roundabout at Walmart, if we can get those solar lights,
Yeah.
just a little, hey, y'all, you're in TEK.
And,
Right.
and absolutely, that's something that has
It's
been
special.
in conversation throughout our staff. So we want to make sure if we can do it, definitely try and do it. So,
So do I understand you're replacing all the lights that go down TKK Drive?
so
Not all of them.
some of them
But,
have
yeah.
been replaced, but with that number, that was the budgeted number we would need to replace what we need to replace, and then also have a contingency in case any of those go out.
Trucks and buses
Yeah, they
tend to catch those lights.
Oh, yeah,
Because
they
they drive a little
yeah,
close.
they're like magnets.
They're in the medium.
Occasionally one will hang
then we
down.
will have-
Pirate ships, man.
Jolly Ranger. I won't call him out while he's not here, but maybe Chief Hasty may have hit one or two.
With the fire truck, no.
So that would be your holiday lighting. Fall Festival is one, as Charlie mentioned, it would be different budget years. So that 5,000 is going to be more of your deposits as we prepare for the Catawba Fest. Holiday Festival, we went a little over on the year-to-date on the festival. We tried to enhance the tree lighting as much as we possibly could with more of our sound and lighting and theatrical side of things. After some feedback with people that attended, we're just going to make some alterations where we don't need to have that expense with the sound and lighting and things of that sort while still making it a very special event. So the biggest cause for that is, one, we had a Santa lined up. One of them switched out, so the cost changed a little bit, and then the sound of lighting changed as well. So that's why that one, but we budgeted for it to be back to its normal range with a little bit of adjustments. While still giving a great presentation, because if y'all don't know Caroline Hasty, presentation is what it's all about. So with some of the other ones, your concert expenses right on there. July 4th, again, that's going to be more of your deposits, and with our new budget year going to July 1, you're going to see a majority of that cost come out after July 1. So the second half of your fireworks and any other costs associated with that, such as a concert. The movie night, you're seeing a slight decrease, and that's just simply because we're adjusting that into Fall Festival. That will be your Booze and Ghouls that you'll see as we go into next budget year. Movie night is one of those events that we were lucky to have a sponsor last year to be able to cover some of those costs. So we're always looking for those opportunities as well. So we budget, but those are things that are continued conversations about sponsoring our movie night, which I think was a great event the last time that we had it. The last one is going to be your Spring Festival. We just had it, so it's fresh on everyone's mind. It's your Best Damn Food Festival. We're asking for an increase of $5,000. And as we experienced in our last one, we had a little bit of we had some expenses that ran over that were not really planned for. So we're trying to make sure that not only are we covering everything that we need to, but also continuing to find ways to advance that festival. Caroline isn't here tonight, so I want to make sure that I do it justice. We look at that event as this is going to be TKK's premier event that we have in the city. That's not necessarily for the residents of TKK, but everyone in the surrounding area. She would hate that I'm going to say this on record, but for those of you that have heard of the Strawberry Festival, it's an event that everyone knows about every year. It's coming around, and our goal in events is to make TKK, we know when the Best Damn Food Festival is, and we're making sure it's circled on our calendar. So that's our vision for it, that it's not only for residents, and we give residents a fantastic time, but we want to make sure that we're bringing in people from all over the place. She looks at it as the exciting event. I look at it as our future ability to be an economic driver, tourism, and making sure that we're bringing people into our city that may never have come into TKK because they just didn't know why. And as they're driving down, getting to, Catawba Park, they're driving down Stonecrest, and they're seeing all the different restaurants and places they've never been to. I think that's a massive, massive win for us as a city as we move into really wanting to develop ourselves as, a destination, especially when Main Street comes on board and all these other developments are continuing to get built. I think it's a game changer. And Caroline will tell you in her years of wisdom that it takes several years for an event to become established. So we want to make sure we're setting the base so then when these are coming online, people already know TKK and they are coming here. I've been with TKK for almost 14, 13 years now, and I think I care about this city almost as much as y'all do in terms of, I want TKK to be on the map. I want people to know about it and know I'm coming to this, and premier events are one of the ways that we do that. And I see it as a massive opportunity to have something of our own that people say, I come into TKK for that event. And I think the one part of it that I want to stress again is, according to York County, we had over 7,000 people that attended the event on year 2. And it wasn't even, we thought it was going to rain again. So in year 1, we had a potential closure because of rain. Year 2, we had also a chance of rain, and we still had almost 7,000 people show up. So I only see bigger and brighter. I just want to give that side of where we see that event going, and I'm very excited for it. I'm sure you guys can probably tell. So
Good.
That's my spiel, and if you guys have any questions.
So what questions do y'all have on events?
I got a few.
Okay.
I slightly disagree with the Best Damn Food Festival being a regional event. I don't see the amount of money we spend on it, the benefit. because if you live in this area, you already know TUK. We're not Charlotte, we're not Rock Hill. I asked for the itemized expenditures, and we spent over $6,000, I think, on advertising. A billboard for for 3,500, 2,100 for some other King Mobile Media, and
That's the one that goes around with the truck.
No, the King Mobile was the big video board that was
Yeah.
out there by the stage during the.
They're
Oh,
trying to be the
that
PNC
was-
Arena.
okay, I thought
I mean,
that
we're
was cool.
paying over $11,000 for bands. For $11,000, you can get 38 Special in here, and we got a cover band. I mean, I'm trying to understand the rationale of why we're spending that much money when we could spend a lot less than that and have just as good a festival. Everything else is great at the festival, but I'm looking, the advertising and the bands especially seem way overkill to me, because no one from Charlotte's going to be like, hey, there's a Van Halen cover band in TKK, let's drive down there. Doesn't happen. I'm not driving to Charlotte for a Van Halen cover band, right? If you had local bands for a tenth of the cost, the bands are fun, but it's not a draw. In my opinion, and I'm not speaking for council, I'm just saying this is my opinion from this. And,
I would agree.
And so I see that, I mean, we got a billboard on 77. I just, and I was told, we got a great deal on it. Well, it turns out it's $3,000, and I'm like, and this is all H-tax, and the reason I bring this up, it's not, listen, if we had an extra 50 grand laying around, cool, let's have a great festival. We can still have a great festival for 15, 20 grand that the residents love. We'll have some regional people that love it. But we could take that H-tax money and we can use it for the riprap at Windjammer Park, the pool repairs. And we run a lean budget. And so I'm just bringing this up, and you guys may say, you're an idiot. We love it. Fine. Do the expenses justify here where we could potentially use that H-tax somewhere else instead of for these massive festivals? Again, this isn't, Charlotte and the kickoff to the Panther season. We did fine for 30 years with Rundy concerts, and all of a sudden now we're at, an extra between the two of them, an extra $50,000. We do 5 concerts for 25 grand, and we spend 11 on one for Kyle Dills, don't know who that is. The other entertainers, $4,500 for 3 hours, and then the Van Halen Tribute Band was $4,000 for an hour and a half. I'm like, it just seems, it blows my mind that we're spending that much money on these bands and these advertising.
Is the 25,000 concert expense separate then from the fall festival?
Yep.
From
Yes.
spring festival, from
That's your
4th of
June-
July?
Yep, that's your June, July, August, September, no, not July. It's June,
No, Uncle Sam
July
Jam's
4th weekend.
included in the
August,
4th
and
of July. Yeah.
It's not July
September.
4th weekend?
No, Uncle Sam Jam.
That's part of the July 4th budget.
Yeah.
September doesn't exist anymore because it's Oktoberfest. So it's
Okay.
just June, August, and October.
Isn't there a May?
And that also includes the stage and sound and the bands.
Okay. If the spring festival is the cornerstone of our concert series, our drive for tourism, if that's how you guys are working towards it, I think it was fantastic that we had 7,000 people come, but I get what Councilman Heislip is saying, is that we seem to be trying to grow a lot of different festivals at the same time by having the bigger bands and the rising budgets for each one of them. So maybe it is that there is one that is the big focus for the year, and the other ones are more of those Rundy concerts that it's more of it, bring your family, bring your chair, but we're not going to have the billboards and the big bands and all of that. I enjoy every single one of these events, but I agree that maybe we shouldn't be trying to make each one of them be a jaw dropper.
And that's to your point, we anticipate the Best Damn Food Festival being the premier regional event. Catawba Fest, you can see that we haven't increased a ton of money into your 4th of July, into your concerts, into Catawba Fest. Like, those have stayed fairly across the board stagnant, as we're looking at Catawba Fest being that premier one. So how we've tried to look at it in terms of your concerts, your Rundy concerts, that's absolutely, we want that to be localized, centralized, that's residents. Your Catawba Fest is slightly regional, but more geared towards your residents, whereas Best Damn that's the one that we want to put our effort into promoting the city and really driving that one and creating that as our signature event.
Well,
So we anticipate, and Councilman Heisel, to your point, I think that's where our vision is in terms of where we can see events can take us as we go from now into the future. Obviously, we want to know your vision as well in terms of, if all of y'all are in agreement that say, we just want simplified concerts and we have no interest in trying to build any of that side. Like, I understand that. We want to continue to look towards the future and really build off of these things. And like I said, we want to put TKK on the map as part of this event. So philosophically, so to say, if that's where the direction council is pointing us in terms of, no, we don't want to do that, it's all, more community or TKK resident based, we understand that, but I just want to share with you what our vision looks like in terms of why we're asking for more allocation in that line item.
Yeah.
Well, even with the concert expense that we got, our regular concert series, what local band do we have?
In terms of local bands, so we're not necessarily looking at
Jam
local.
Garden.
They won't let Jam Garden play.
Who won't?
Somebody.
So he has played
Because
before.
I've asked for
He's played.
He has played before.
the first year that I was in office, he played. For the last 2 years, I've asked for him to be on the schedule.
He's the only really local
And,
band that,
you know,
and
and
Congress.
can't get him on the schedule.
Congress. is
LA.
really-
Yeah, we got,
yeah,
we got a lot of,
Boston, what's his name?
that's
Oh, yeah,
DeCarlo.
yeah.
Carlo.
Yeah,
DeCarlo.
Yeah.
But we
They're
don't
all
have
good.
local, we're flying them in from Nashville and all over the place as far as the concert series.
Cover band from LA too.
Yeah, and yeah, so that's what I'm saying. We've got a lot of talented folks here within this, within a pretty good mile radius. I mean, you got Charlotte right here, but here it is. We're flying folks in from California for 10 grand. We're flying folks in from Nashville. I mean, if we're gonna do the concert series, I would say let's keep it local bands and promote local talent and get this $25,000 down to, to a good amount. And to Tom's point, I don't see flying in a cover band for $11,000 when, like you said, you can have Molly Hatchet or 38 Special or
Marshall
you can have,
Tucker or
you can have,
something,
you
yeah.
can have all of those
10
good
grand.
bands. Yeah.
People will come for that.
Firehouse was 10 grand. My buddy
Creed
got it.
Fisher.
People come from everywhere. for
Creed
that.
Fisher said they'd come do it for 8. I mean, you could have a lot of good bands that would come and do
Real
this.
bands.
Yeah, and instead of cover bands for $10,000
Nationally
from,
known bands.
yeah.
Nationally. known.
That's all I'm saying.
I like the vision. I love the vision that you shared.
And I think that it's important to keep in mind what we're building, right?
Right.
So with the commercial that's coming in, having something that does attract that tourism becomes really important. So this is not we need to scrap it all
Yeah, no, I'm
and
not
just,
saying that at all.
just
Yeah, I don't think this
put
is
up the gates
criticism.
and become
No.
become small.
I think it's vision.
It's understanding
Mm-hmm.
what are we going to focus on and building that
Mm-hmm.
one big event, and then all of us take a deep breath and just enjoy the rest of the events as being very hyper-local.
Yeah.
That's right.
And then seeing what that budget looks like and how it can fluctuate so that we can support that event, that will support our growth. And I think that the other smaller events will still continue to do that, just not in the same scale. It is a lot when you see it in writing, it's a lot to look at in dollars when we have the opportunity to use those same dollars in adding or improving a trail. Where that kind of centers back into the city,
I mean, I think if our residents saw that spreadsheet and they saw we paid a Van Halen tribute band $4,000 to play for an hour and a half, they would be pissed. I know I am. I'm a taxpayer. And whoever these other entertainers are, $4,500 for them. And again, these aren't people that are, these bands are not drawing anybody in. And so you could have a Charlotte Van Halen tribute band probably for $1,000. And no one's gonna know the difference.
Yeah, absolutely love the vision of the
Yeah,
Best Damn
the
Food
festival
Festival,
itself, yeah.
of what's
Yeah, I
going
love
on
that.
and making that our signature event, plus the concerts expenses that we have and the fall festival, absolutely wonderful. The only thing that I think we're all saying is just if we could try and trim it down a little bit, because when you do see it all itemized, it's a little much.
Or, another perspective, I don't know that we need to trim it, but we need to get our best bang for our buck here.
Well, we're gonna spend that much.
Let's get the ROI we're looking for.
And I wonder if you're gonna get a band that's gonna come in and draw people.
Yeah, and I want to at least put this into y'all's ear as well. So a lot of the entertainers that we book are through the same person that we've booked almost all of our entertainment with. So not every single one, but the going rate for entertainment is expensive. I mean, I think at one point, I understand, and I'm right there with you in terms of wanting to stretch every dollar as much as I can. You're going to pay for quality as well. So if you want to make sure that you're putting on a quality event, we want to make sure that the bands and the entertainment that we have are quality. And you know, for an example, like the Van Halen, like they've traveled all over around the nation, you know, to perform. And I get it. Some people may not know the difference. I'm not a Van Halen fan. You know,
Shame on you.
Yeah, I know. So, but
I didn't see the drill with pound cake, I'm just saying. I did not see
So,
the drill with
and
pound
for
cake.
example, the Queen band that's coming in, they've played overseas, like, so they have played major events, and that reflects the cost, and I get it. I understand sometimes it is sticker shock. So, I want to at least say that we're not just looking at any band and saying we just want to drop money on anybody and everyone. We want to make sure we're providing quality entertainment for y'all and for our residents. So that's where I'm coming from, and I fully understand it. It's tough to look at some of the expenses that we have and what we spend, but I can tell you there's a lot of thought and effort that goes into making sure that we have quality events. So
And
No, the event
I
was
think
great.
that those are two different conversations. The effort is very much appreciated. The thought that's going in behind this is very obvious. It isn't.
doubt,
It
yeah.
is. It's not a conversation of there's not enough being done. It's more of a conversation. Is this the right thing that we need to be doing based on the budget that we want to follow and based on the priorities that we might have? You know, if we open it up and do something a little bit different.
Absolutely.
So please hear that it's
Yeah.
it's
So we're not
absolutely
criticising.
not a
Absolutely.
Great
criticism.
event.
no.
So my question for council, sorry.
So my question for council is, based on what you're saying, are you looking for us to reduce any of these line items? Like, are you looking for us, hearing what you were talking about, or about the concert expenses? Are we bringing that $25,000 number down?
I would
as
say
we're
let's
looking
do
at the 12
some,
months?
let's do some research and see what we can do. I mean, you know, with your concert, the concert expenses and everything, you know, like the Diamond Dixie.
Mhm.
They came in from Nashville. They did a great job. Everybody was happy as punch with the performance of it. Yeah, I'm not saying, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I'm saying we want it more localized on those concerts. And if we can lower the price on them, yeah. But keep it in the budget to where we can get the good bands and that kind of thing, and then we can realize the cost on the backside.
Yeah,
One
I'm with
point
you.
on the concert, just to consider, is that under the expense, you would have 2 concerts at Rundy and 1 at Catawba Park. Your fixed costs are going to be a little higher at Rundy because you're having to rent a stage as well, along with the sound. So just completely understand the adjustment, but just keep in mind you'll have a little less flexibility with the concert expense compared to like Spring Festival.
Yeah, and I think that doing 3 concerts for 25 is because you got the stage and everything. I mean, that seems reasonable. The big
Okay.
thing that stands out to me is, you know, again, $10,000 for 3 cover bands and close to $6,000 on advertising. I mean, who are we advertising to? A billboard on 77.
It was on southbound 77.
Yeah, it's like, again, that just seems like wasted money to me.
So would y'all feel more comfortable with the Spring Festival being down with less advertising, or keep it where it's at? Because, after the 23rd, I've got to advertise for the public hearing and all that stuff. So I need to have budgets done, right? We finished on the 23rd. I'd like to not have to go back through these on the 23rd again because we've got golf and general fund to do that night. And obviously, general fund's going to take quite some time, as it does every year. So is it, you're good with these numbers, but with the direction of make some cuts and let's see what could be trimmed?
If I may, I'm
Or-
going to say, the budget looks net positive as at first pass here, right? And I love Tom's suggestion to maybe we can go from 7,000 to 10,000, we bring a band that's nationally recognized or more
you spend
regionally
11,000.
recognized. Right, exactly.
You can get less.
Right, you could. But what if we did something like that and got better ROI for the money that we're anticipating spending?
So that's gonna drop you.
I'm
Free concert
not
with a
necessarily
national artist?
suggesting we cut it, I'm suggesting
We also
Maybe
have
we
to
do
keep in mind the
something more
public
creative
safety
with it.
standpoint and the
Just
amount of
to be
parking
clear.
and everything else.
Yeah, but if
I don't think we
7,000
want
people-
20,000 people
You're
showing
not
up.
getting 20,000 people for an 80s band, so they're just gonna know it.
Is your,
Unless you bring 'em out like crew.
like, potential direction, instead of having
Well,
3
hold-
acts, just do
hold on one
one
second,
main
guys.
act?
What we're,
Or-
potentially, or maybe a local opener,
Or having a reduced
maybe a local
acts
opener
to
and
then,
and a better band that's the headliner.
Are we talking about the Spring Festival?
Yes.
Specifically?
Yes.
We can absolutely explore, I mean, in terms of who we could bring in and things of that sort. And if it's, the direction is more, maybe lesser acts in the beginning and saving some money to then put on a larger act at the end, we can look at how that kind of plays out in terms of the allocation. I know Caroline's vision was to make sure we had music throughout the entire day. So if the direction
Yeah, I
is
get it.
more, let's look at bringing a bigger act towards
Maybe
the
a
end
DJ
and have a
and a
little
big
bit
act.
lesser.
Lesser bands.
Yeah.
exactly.
And I would also add, as we're looking at this, the total concert expense, the 25,000 plus whatever the concert expense is for the fall festival, and then the 4th of July. If we can look at those bands, see what the total is there, because then if the goal is that we're going to go all in for Spring Festival, but maybe bring in the more local bands that are not going to be topping, the 3,000 to 5,000 mark. I don't know how much is specifically being spent on bands for those.
It's right in that range, 2,000 to, depending on the act. That's kind of what the going
So
rate is for those
the
smaller
concert
ones.
this past week was
I'd have to
3,000 to
look
5,000?
I'd have to look
Those,
specifically, but it was
including
not the,
travel
it was not
and-
the cost of
Okay.
what like a Van Halen would be at the 4,000 or 5,000.
and I think that would be helpful to know those numbers, because right now we're looking at a whole,
Yeah.
and I don't know how any of it's allocated. I know you got numbers for the Spring Festival, but I don't know how the Fall Festival, how is that $23,000 being spent versus the 30 that was, budgeted for the Spring Festival. It would help to know where that money's going specifically, so that we can say, okay, we're spending too much on talent, or too much on marketing for each one of those. And then we can tell you where to cut, because just to say it straight off the top, I think that would be really difficult to do.
okay, fair enough. I'm just looking for what numbers we're looking for. And I mean, if y'all are fine with these numbers, but with the direction that has been given tonight, then, we can absolutely march forward that way.
Exactly.
Yeah, so.
Tom, you okay with the number if we do something a little different with it?
Yeah, and see what
Or-
happens.
or
I mean,
save money that way.
Hopefully we save money.
There you go.
Yep.
Fair
Or
enough, right.
we spend it all and who knows, you got the real Van Halen.
Get a bigger bank, right? I don't know, I've
That
heard
would be
David Lee
something.
Roth lately, it's not so good.
Budget will remain as is.
Yeah.
Hagar's a fan of Bucket
As is, and
And
then
then we'll
possibly
work
reduce.
to make these adjustments to
tequila
save
water.
some money.
That's what I
Okay.
meant.
Anything else on,
Yeah, he is, yes, he is.
See what happens.
anything else for events tourism?
Walk out.
No.
Before we jump into hospitality tax and wind down the evening.
Keep moving.
All right, H-Tax. So, pretty straightforward. We're estimating $300,000 through the first 9 months. You can see where we're at year-to-date, but that does not include June's H-Tax, okay? Because they pay, yep,
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
because H-Tax payments come in by the 20th of the following month. So you've got basically through May, through there, but it's 9 months worth, but it does not include June. Right? So you've got October, which is your September usage, in event. You can see what we've collected year-to-date, what we're forecasting. And we're looking at about that same number total if you look at it on a 12-month schedule. Obviously, we're envisioning TK Coffee with their expansion, that H-Tax creeping up a little bit more. Yoshi Ramen, as they're getting their foothold and popularity.
They're doing well.
They're coming around in Napoli's, right?
TK
So
Coffee, and TK Coffee.
I started with that one. So,
I'm hard of hearing.
yes.
The grocery store.
Yeah, the new grocery store has a cafe in there, so we'll start getting H-Tax from that. But we don't have any new restaurants planned to come in at this point, but who knows? I mean,
years.
somebody moves out of a spot and somebody else comes in, remodels, and, it could be, but we're not forecasting that. So pretty much keeping the status quo on the H-Tax. I'm gonna separate you two. As I mentioned before, in events tourism, you've got that first line item there. You see that transfer over to that. Biggest thing I'm going to focus on here really is you see that zero number on the transfer for Catawba Park. It's because we do that in September, right? So it wouldn't hit in this 9 months. But if you look at it from a 12-month standpoint, we would envision that as more going from $83,883 to $112,047. So you're going to see as we start doing 26, 27, you're going to see a bigger amount there to help offset that bond payment. Because one other area you see a zero is the Rundy Park lights. The payments are done. So we'll roll that into the transfer at Catawba Park, which brings it to about 108 and change. And you can see that we would actually forecast that as a $112,000 number. So that is your H-Tax. We did bring down the maintenance repair at Clubhouse. Reason being is because of how the draft contract for the whoever the person is going, the entity is going to be, where we're not replacing city-owned equipment inside the restaurant. We're not doing any maintenance inside other than the HVAC. So we envision that number coming down. What's been spent in there year to date, I'm pretty sure I provided that to y'all earlier this week. None of it was for the big project as far as replacing the rotten wood and painting the entire outside. So it's just been the stuff that we typically do there is what's been in there. So we're envisioning that, as you look at it at a 12-month, as being about $25,000 less than what we've done in the past. And then once once we get a full 12-year experience on that, with this new setup, we'll be able to dial that number in, possibly even less.
12 months.
What now?
12 months.
Yes.
12 years.
Oh, I'm sorry, 12 months. Yes, months, I'm sorry.
Did you say years?
It's getting late. Been looking at a lot of numbers, so. But that's your proposed H-Tax budget. Again, it shows it to the good by $60,685, and that would just carry over into the new year as a fund balance in that account. We're done with events. Y'all said we were done. You said we could move forward. So what, if any, questions do you have on H-Tax?
I got one.
Okay.
So we got a marketing budget 20 going to 26. I think you said that was primarily website.
So most of that, the big majority of that is website, but it's also to add more banners in other areas around the city, like Windhaven, River Falls, Cameron Creek, things like that. The pole banners. We consider them marketing and advertising the city.
For like events, you mean?
No.
The ones at the end
Like
of
the
the
TKK
streets.
banners, the banners, the vertical.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
I got you.
those banners.
I'm not following
The
you.
street light pole banners.
One at
Yes.
the end of your street.
So it's that, and it's our
Yeah, right by TKK
and it's our
Drive.
website stuff. So we want to put some in those new areas. We've got some that we have to replace, but the bulk of that increase, if you will, is going to be adding more of those street pole banners.
And I know you sent me something on Visit York County. Again, I just
Yes.
go back. So we got Visit York County 11.5. We spent $6,000 on the one festival. I don't know how much we spent on the other festivals. I just have to wonder how much we're spending on this advertising in our own city. If it's 40, 50 grand, that could pay for all the Windjammer riprap. I mean, I'm
Right.
trying to look at
Understand.
H-Tax,
Yep.
using it for other than just, I really don't think we need to market TKK. I mean, you can't even buy a house here if everyone wants to live here.
Right.
And we're spending money to market it. It seems counterproductive to me when we could actually use it for repairs and upkeeps and stuff that we need that have to do with tourism, like Windjammer Park, like Catawba Park, like.
And I'm with you too. Enlighten me about the Visit York County.
Okay. Which one?
What is it?
What are we doing with Visit York County?
So we sent y'all exactly what they do for us for that. They market our events. They're helping us bring in like the quad ball tournament, which unfortunately because of Helene and a lot of other things, we weren't able to host it, but we do have it for 2026. They're looking at other events that, to bring into Catawba Park, which will be revenue generators for us in that area. Yeah, the reason why we know there were over 7,000 people, they've got a software that we get access to that costs way more than $11,000, where we're able to see how many people are at this park, where did they come from, where did they go to after that park, and it gives us that data.
What's that, on cell
from
phone
that
data?
standpoint. Do what?
Is that on cell phone data or
Yeah.
something? Yeah.
Okay. I'm just asking because, you know, everybody knows that I'm not a huge fan of the chamber.
Well, this has nothing to do with the chamber.
You know,
This
and-
is
and if
this
it's
is
the
a
same- if we're
completely
getting the
different entity.
same- If we're getting the same ROI on this as we are with the chamber, then I'm like, let's just go ahead and back that out.
They've
But
been really good partners
Okay.
for us.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah, we're every city in York County is contributing funds to help offset their operational expenses, including York County allocates money to them. They're not really a county department. They're affiliated with the county, but their focus is strictly on tourism. And all the participating members, they market those events
Is
and
there
try
a-
to help bring more people in and things like that. So, you know, given that, we can probably reduce marketing in some of those areas, like, you know, I mean, because we can ask them to ramp that up for us. you know,
Now, would
and
it
will-
cost
and it
more
will
if we
cost
did
us
that,
more.
or
No.
is it just a flat fee, you
Yep,
know?
this will.
Okay.
It's a percentage of the hospitality tax.
Okay.
Is there a way to data mine the return on investment on that 11,500? Because you said it's so that they can drive tourism to us, is so that they can help us in connecting us with different tournaments and things like that.
Dustin can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that information that you're looking for is in that packet that I sent y'all from York County.
Okay.
And if not, Andy Clinton, who is the executive director for that, is always happy to come up and talk about it.
Is
So
that, I
we
mean, I
could-
think
we
that
could
would
have him
help
come and
us
present at a
feel
future council
better
meeting for you.
about,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
the money spent is what is it that we've actually.
Right. What do we get back for it?
Yeah.
Absolutely. We can work with Andy and try to get him up here at a future council meeting. Sure.
Yeah, because if they can do it, then we ain't got to spend $3,000 on a billboard.
Exactly.
Yes.
I still
I
can't
mean,
believe we bought a
I
billboard.
connect those dots, absolutely.
I'm with you, Tom, on the marketing piece, though. I mean, I think you make a good point that, I mean, anybody that can afford it's knocking the doors down here.
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't afford to live here now. If
Well, I
if had
think, I
lived here
think
20 years ago.
the market, the city is not really for bringing people in to live here, but getting them used to
Come here
coming into
to
the
pay
city,
and play.
visit the city. Going, we've got very few restaurants in the city, right? Main Street's gonna bring on more, right? At least that's their goal, that's their vision. We've got some more going in around the TGK Tavern. Now, we're probably 2 to 3 years out, before those buildings are built. You've got, people occupying them, but that's where we want to bring people to. I don't think we have to, I agree with you. We don't have to market the city for people to come live here.
Right.
People have found us,
I
absolutely.
think you have a lot of realtors marketing the city.
Right, absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
They
So,
have
I
their
mean,
own marketing.
as far as,
And
hey, we
they're-
want you to come
frankly, they're
live
better
here,
at it.
I agree 100%. We don't have to market it at all. It sells itself, and people have obviously found us. But it's getting those visitors in and spending their money here versus going to Baxter, or going to Kingsley, or going up to Rivergate, or something like
Right.
that. Come right here. Come spend your money here. And, safe travels going home. Yeah.
Right.
I think
So-
that'll be a really big conversation once we have that infrastructure, commercial infrastructure in
absolutely.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and at that point, you're seeing much more hospitality tax dollars coming in. Yeah.
So are you saying that the research tells us to spend a little bit now to start
To
creating?
establish.
Creating establishment, okay.
What else we got?
That is all I have for y'all.
We good?
Motion adjourned.
We good? Motion adjourned?
Second.
First, second?
Got it.
Aye? Aye. Okay.
Thank y'all for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. I
Thank you.
appreciate you.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate everything you shared with us.
Thanks, Heather, for coming and hanging out with us.